everyone, welcome to my channel. Here on the Sheenapreneur channel, I share information about government contracting, veteran business content, and other business tips. What's going on, everyone? It is Sheena, aka Sheenapreneur, your favorite veteran, and my other favorite veteran,
Bridget, the CEO of Design Show, also known as the SLED Queen.
Ooh, tell them, the queen of SLED, okay? Because I was like, Bridget, what is SLED? I don't no comprende. And she was like, let's have a tutelage real quick about what SLED is. So you've seen us before. You've seen us all over gracing your interwebs. And now we have really embarked on local contracting, especially right now with everything that's going on and everything that's possibly getting better, maybe or maybe not getting better. But we've been doing local regardless. So that's just where we at. That's where we live. And Bridget is literally the queen of that. Okay. Because she just be going around smiling at people and they be like, oh my God, please take this contract. Literally.
That's a lot more than that.
I'm just saying. Everybody can't be Bridget though, but I'm just saying. So if you are in, please just go ahead and drop where you are located. We got FJ. What's up, FJ? Thank you for popping in. And we got Ivan, of course. Let's go. Two favorite people.
Hey, Ivan.
What's up, Ivan? And look, and he's still overseas and he on here. He on here. Appreciate you. Okay, so first we got to explain what it is, right? Like, what is SLED?
All right, so SLED contracting, in contrast to federal contracting, of course, is when you bid on government contracts at the state, local, and education level. That gives you your SLED. Education, your colleges, your schools. Yes, that's included in SLED government contracting.
So when it's funny because it's SLED, state, SL, local, and then ED for education. I don't know, maybe they were sitting in that room trying to brainstorm of how this should look. And they decided that education is ED. So we don't make the rules, okay? We just share the information. So if it's local contracting, if people say state contracting, if they say educational contracts, if they say SLED, it's all the same, okay? There's a lot of different nuances that will determine whether something is state or local. I hate when people say state or local because technically they're the same, but there's a little bit of a difference every now and then, depending on how that particular state runs their contracts. But that's not for you to even care about. It's just local contracts, right? So one of the things I want to get into is when people ask about local contracting, let's just say, okay, I know I can do contracts, here in the city of Atlanta, Georgia, but can I do local contracting in other locations? What you tell them?
Of course, they can do local contracting in other locations, whether it's your neighbor to the right, South Carolina, Florida, or if you're like the amazing Sheena and Foresight Industries, all the way up to Delaware.
That's a very interesting state. If you from Delaware, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and just identify yourself. But Delaware is an interesting state, and I didn't even truly know where it was because it's a very, very small location. But it just goes to when you're ready to do contracting, like you just doing it, like you're just out there and being fearless. So that was kind of like my journey because I was just bidding on whatever. I'm like, it say janitorial, it say flooring, it says whatever. I'll find it. And I found it or it found me. And it was, it's not easy. None of it's easy. Even if you have a contract right around the corner from you, it's going to be, something that you have to work at. It's business at the end of the day. Go ahead and drop y'all's questions. Again, drop where you located. Ivan, we know you overseas, but let people know a little bit where you at. And FJ, if you're still on, please go ahead and drop where you are located. All right. So getting into some of the good stuff. So we talked about a very interesting report that Bridget was reading. So she told me about the report, and I was like, oh, let's bring up the report. And the report is 400 pages. And I was like, well, we definitely can't do that, okay? But we can explain to you exactly what that is. But before we do that, let me go ahead and highlight. Okay, is it Christian Emerson? Hello, beautiful ladies. Looking forward to the knowledge. Listening from Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. I work in SLED with a focus in the AEC space. What's that? Do you know what that is, Bridget?
That was an aeronautical Ergonomics.
Tell us what that is. Tell us what that is. We don't know what that is. Sure, you advanced. You got to get on the channel next. Ivan said, "What's up, good people? 45 minutes from London, London South. Very cool." April, what's up, April? And
Hey.
you tried to tell me how to say your tribe's name, and forgive me. I'm even gonna try to mess it up. I'm not gonna do it. But she's hailing from her tribe. Okay, so thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. So what I'm gonna do. Do you guys hear echo? Let me know if you hear echo by chance. But either way, we're gonna rock through this thing. So I'm on my Mac. So let me see if I can share this screen successfully.
Christian says architecture, engineering, and construction.
Ooh. Okay, so you work in SLED with and I love let me go back. I love how you said you have a focus.
Yes.
Because that's one of the things that echo is really like I can hear it loud now. Okay, we're gonna keep moving. But I love that you have a focus because we always tell people to ensure that they are doing something at least that they know how to do, want to do, and have some interest in. And when the stuff is not sexy no more, then you can still do the thing. And so you having a focus is paramount in this. And make sure you ask some of your questions as we are doing this. So Bridget's about to explain this 400-page document. Let me just show y'all the document. Let me just show you.
Beautiful.
It's nice now.
Because it's like a money guide.
Can you
If
see
you're looking for where the money is located, it's right here. They publish everything. So there should be no questions when you go to your association meetings for your community or your local chamber meetings. You should never have a question of what should I say, because they type it all out here in the report. Look, they even give you the people's pictures and their names.
Yeah,
so you doing your due diligence, going on LinkedIn, friending them, sending them an email. Hey, this is Christian, and I do architecture and engineering, and I see that you guys are building a hospital. Just want to know if you have any openings for any subs. It's literally that easy. Just imagine if you have a job as a procurement officer, if the perfect sub could come to you. Don't you think they want that? Or do you think they want to go through 46, 80 proposals trying to find the right one?
Seriously, you're helping them out by finding them and telling them what you do, but you got to be serious about what you do.
Yes.
So is it real quick? Ashby.
Ashley.
Ashley, I'm sorry, my bad. Cool. And April said, nice. Does every city publish something like this?
Absolutely. The city, the county, your local chamber, they all publish them, whether it's yearly or even monthly. They let you know how much they spent on janitorial services.
And think about it as the forecast for the local side. Yep. But it's actually true because we all know that those forecasts are a little sketchy. They might say they're going to do these things. It'll be 3 years behind. You're like, you guys just not going to update this forecast? Okay, great. So what I'm showing you now, I want to show you guys the document first, but what I want to show you now is Bridget has created a fantastic group called
Georgia SLED Connect. There's that SLED word again.
You're going to hear that 55,000 times during this presentation. So get used to the word. And so with the Georgia SLED Connect group, make sure you head on over to LinkedIn. This is on LinkedIn, and join the group so you can get exclusive information. So for that document that I just showed, Bridget went ahead and broke it down for y'all, for the people in the back to understand it. So if you can go ahead and
Yes. So as Ms. Sheenapreneur said, this is a 444-page document. This is their 2025 spending budget. And so as you can see at the top there, 260 million. So for those of you who don't think that there's any money, and this is just Savannah, this is not the whole state of Georgia. And Savannah is not even half as busy as your Atlanta, your Athens may be the same, Columbus, all of your large metro areas here in Georgia, but here 260 million plus. Okay, so that means they're getting a little bit more with T-SPLOS. That's your tax funding dollars that goes to certain projects for opportunities over 5 years. And then I even broken down more into, it tells you where the money is actually going. So where you see major fiscal year 25 projects. It says sewer infrastructure expansion, 35 million. So for those of you who are like, I don't want that little 10,000 that these counties are paying out. Look, the money is right here. They're letting you know. So what else we got on that, Sheena?
Let's see. So, and to that point, this is really all you need to know, right? How much money they got and where it's going. And so here you go, Mr. Plumber. And you're like, hi, so I have my capability statement that Bridget's team created. And I want to know if you all might have any opportunities for us to do plumbing services. Okay, thanks, bye. And then you start going to the county meetings or the city meetings. They have all types of meetings that we don't even pay any attention to that they want people to come to and give input. And even if, let's just say you're just starting and you don't even necessarily know what industry you want to go into yet, you can go in there and see what they need, because they might say, oh my God, we have not been able to find a janitorial company since 1972. There ain't none. And then you're like, oh, well, I can do
By the
that.
way.
I'm a janitorial company as of now. Okay. So things like that is what makes, people are getting these contracts and you don't know that they already have them when they put them out in the, on the streets. That doesn't happen all the time, but it can happen. And there's things that don't even make it to SAM.gov, the Georgia Procurement Registry website, things that don't even make it there. Bridget will tell you a story in a few about how she just was like, snatch the contract. It didn't even make it. It didn't even hit the streets at all. She got one of them do calls. I was like, they did what? Like, wait, rewind the whole conversation. What happened now? So those type of things will, if they need something, sometimes if it's emergency, if it's they just know, like, and trust you already. They've heard about you, even if you haven't done any work with them, and somebody that you went to school with. Wink, wink, hint, hint. It's not illegal if you are qualified. So they may not even have to have it hit the streets before you get that contract ahead of time. So Bridget, go ahead and tell your story. How you snatch the contract from the rest of the people.
Snatch, I don't know if it's a snatch situation. It just really depends on, who you know, and that's with anything and everything. Yes, you can build those relationships, or you can blind bid. But so this was a contract where I had previously did work with the organization before, and they bid on a contract with a county, and they knew that we do web development and communications marketing, so they automatically put us on the contract because of the relationship. So we didn't have to write a proposal. We just told them how much we wanted for the service.
Woo!
Come on now. Come on. So
I would
when
be
you do good work, the word gets around. That's why trust your own backyard. Like Sheena said, you went to school with these people. We're all the adults now, you guys. So the superintendent at the school, you went to school with Tiffany and Stephanie, like, get to know them as adults in their field and industry, and then build those relationships. Because we just all trying to make it through this world out here right now.
And anyone that has ever done, like, you started a new business and you told your family about it, you told your friends about it, or you was in an MLM like the rest of us, and you're like, I got this new business, and they're gonna be like, yeah, okay, whatever. But that's still, you're in knowing these people. Okay. So don't feel like because these people know me and maybe you've had other businesses in the past. Everybody has worked in my company. Everybody knows that. They've worked in multiple companies that I've had over the years. Okay. So they've been ran through 15 times already. I don't care. If you work here, I'm going to say, hey, look, no, for real. I'm a real business owner for real this time. Okay. I need you to, tell me who I need to talk to. Do y'all have this thing? And then they're going to be like, you know what Sheena does? She did say she does janitorial. And it might be 4 or 5 years down the line. And then boom, now you have the contract that you didn't even really have to, bid or really work hard for. You letting people know what you do. You're supposed to let everybody know what you do. It doesn't have to be cringy or annoying. You just let people know what you do. So let me see what Christian has to say. I currently work for a private tech AEC company. However, I'm looking to start my own thing one day soon. Not looking to quit my job. However, just want to start small and build up from there. Any advice? Ooh. Can I take that one?
Go ahead.
So look, your girl, like I said, serial entrepreneur. So I have quit my job and went to do the business, and it went down a fiery blaze of hell. So I'm not recommended to just, like, some people say go out on faith, but the faith don't be faithing sometimes, or maybe it wasn't the time, whatever the case may be. I'm stronger for it, but I definitely transitioned out of my straight up full time. It wasn't even, like I was playing around. I was really in the trenches working, and took leave to go to classes and start the business. And it was rough. So I would say, if you already have a company that does what you want to do, like you found this is the thing I really want to do, there may be an opportunity for collaboration. Perhaps it may not be, and you have to be okay with that. You can't expect them to care about your little business, and I say that about everyone's business. They're all about business, little business, but they may want to help you. They may want to allow you to use their past performance, or some of their resources, or they may not. So the advice I have is, yes, keep your job to make sure it's something that you want to do. There's a lot of people who start in government contracting with something, whether they did it before or they haven't, and they're like, never mind. I changed my mind.
So
And
mine is just slightly a little different. I'm the friend who's going to tell you, and Ashley knows, jump out there, because I feel that when your back is up against a wall, or there's no plan B for you to fall on, your actions are different. Your movements are different. You will get the courage to speak up at the event that you would usually stand in the corner, because you got to come home with something. You just don't quit your job last week. So I'm just a big believer in behaviors. And then also, of course, if you have children to feed, you can't all eat ramen noodles every day, but, you really have to look at your lifestyle. If you are staying with your parents, or, if you're a single person, then I feel, that will be the time to do it. Because remember, it's a business, and what you put into it is what you're going to get out. And in this space, you really have to be present and pushing, because there's a lot more business owners out there than what it used to be. So it's a little bit more competitive. It's a little bit more noise out here. So if you think you can just do this Monday through Wednesday and not on the weekends, leave the chat.
please, expeditiously. And we're finding, and this is a great segue into the services that we offer, because in this process of helping new entrepreneurs and old entrepreneurs, because we've had clients go up into the 8 figures, and we've had clients that could barely spell contracting. Okay, so we've had everything in between, and there's a lot of learning for us too, because just got to say this, like when you've done this for a long time, it's hard to remember where the beginning was. And someone told me that, and I said, oh my God, that's exactly how I be feeling, because I'm like, there's no way people are still asking this one question. But yeah, because it's new to them. And just like when it was new to me and Bridget, we're like, okay, I don't even understand what the heck you're talking about. And you got to get everything super, super granular sometimes. So what we offer for those who are, at least we want people to at least know what they want to do, right? It just makes it easier process for you, easier process for us to know what you want to do. You go into that industry, and then we help do some business development with you, and then we write proposals for you. Okay. Submissions, like we do the submissions, we source it, meaning find it. We put the proposal together. We make sure that you have everything you need to be compliant for that proposal, and we submit it on your behalf. Okay. For a nominal fee every month. So Bridget, you want to add on anything to that?
As far as knowing what you're going to do, that's definitely number one, because if you don't know what you're going to do, you don't know which lane you're going down. You don't know if you're going forward, backwards, up, or down in this space. And so even if it's something small, like Sheena said in the beginning, if you just want to do server maintenance, let me name something else more simple. Social media marketing. If you want to start there, that is perfectly fine. Don't feel like you need to do media placement, Channel 2 news, web design, and all that. Start there and build vertically. As you go and grow in this space, and you look at contracts and you talk to people, it's going to come to you which way you should go. Okay, you do social media. Now you do marketing consultation. Then that goes to billboard advertisement. Grow vertically. So start with what you know, because as Sheena, has her middleman situation, again, start with what you know and then grow out from there.
Y'all gonna make me spaz out, and people are still saying it. I'm like, I know y'all hear me saying I hate that
I
word.
don't think they hear you. I don't think they heard you in the back.
Middleman is not real. Right, I'm in the back. Middleman is not real. There's no middle. You are signing a contract with the government. So you are directly connected to the government. They don't care about your sub. They could care less. If your sub dies, you are on the hook for that contract. So it's not in the middle.
Why is everybody saying it?
I know. Why is everybody? Well, Kizzy said, no disrespect. There's a lot of people that said it. Pretty much everybody but me and Eric Coffee are the ones that are like, you can't say middleman because there's no middle. So basically, somebody gave a great explanation about how they looked at middleman. And I actually agree with them. So in real estate, especially in wholesaling, okay, I used to wholesale too now. I was out here. The girl was out here, right? And with wholesaling, there's a buyer, there's a seller, and then there's you. So literally your only obligation is to put these people together. So you literally are a middleman. There's no obligation for you. You just gotta put these people together. And I said, oh, that's what you think this is. Well, yeah, this ain't that. Okay. This is, you have a contractual obligation with the government, federal, otherwise. And then you either hire people directly or you use subcontractors. So when people think of, I guess, middlemaning, it's basically just, it's not basically, it actually is just subcontracting. That's it. That's it. Subcontracting. Okay, let's see what people can say. So after I go on my rant, I'm gonna go on this rant two more times. Okay. So Don Lamar, what would you say is the best way to build relationships in the SLED market? Ooh, that's a good one. Bridget,
so the very, very first thing, everybody write it down, take that note, is to join your local chamber. That's an organization where all new businesses, when they come into your local city, and they let you know when there's the pharmacies is opening, the hospitals, they let you know what's going on in your own backyard, and you're paying taxes there. So why wouldn't you want to know if they're about to put, a stop sign in front of the road that you live on? So definitely join your local chamber. And just like any situation, like a program that you're in or any club that you're a part of, it's what you make it. So make sure that you go to their events, meet the people, talk to them. My name is Bridget. I am a marketing communication expert, and then also get to know what they do, because that's going to help you to build your subs and teaming partners, which is probably the second top thing that we get a lot of questions about when it comes to proposals, and who's going to help them, who can help facilitate the other pieces. So yes, your chamber, associations, organizations, there are several in all cities and counties. These are your neighbors. These are the people who are going to fight with you when you don't want 25 speed bumps in your neighborhood. So do that. That's the first thing. That's how you build relationships. And these are real humans. So act humanly.
Yeah, try to act humanly, y'all. I know it's not easy for a lot of us. I was like, I just want to be behind this computer. I don't want to talk to anyone. I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert, contrary to popular belief. And it's funny that you mentioned the stop sign, because near my house, they put in a speed camera like years later. So I'm just flying down the road. Okay, it's not even a busy street, and boy, you can see everybody got a ticket because they'll start slowing way down. It's right outside of my door, so it's like, okay, that's great. I wasn't at the meeting, so.
You didn't go to the city council meeting to vote against it. So the 3 people that was there, Stephanie, Tiffany, and Karen, they voted for it to be there. So what do your city councilman have to do? Their city councilman has to do what the residents say. Literally, you guys.
And so it's funny, but it's not funny, because those are, like, let's say you're a speed camera installer, like you won't even know that these things are happening because you're not going to these meetings. Okay, hold on, y'all. Let me try to get my life together over here. So I see a lot of questions coming in. That was a great question, Donald Lamar. I really appreciate it. And then on top of that, though, there's people that you actually know. They'll be like, oh, my daddy is an electrician. My mama is a plumber. You're like, hello, like, if they actually do the thing. Now, not Pookie and them, because you don't want to start off on the wrong foot with somebody messing something up. But if it's someone that actually does legit work and you know them, your brother, your whoever, friends, then you can start with them as long as they meet your criteria. My criteria is strict, so I lose pretty quickly because they can't handle the hammer. Because it's like, this is my business is on the line, and that's why, I think April just said that she corrected herself. She doesn't say middlewoman anymore. Correct, because think about it. These people are representing your company. So when you're getting this contract in Alaska and you're like, oh, I'll just find somebody in Alaska to do it. You don't know how they do business. Like, what? You don't know how to do business. The time difference. You don't know. You know nothing. And then you're going to trust this person to operate accordingly. And you never met them. You don't know anything about them. You don't know if their business suck. their business can suck even if they're a larger business. Okay, so ran into that before, and I'm like, well, they couldn't possibly be dishonest because they make $50 million. Oh, they're probably the most
The
dishonest.
most, because they don't care about your little business. And so when they don't show up, when the workers don't show up, who do you think they're gonna call? Who they call, Sheena?
They calling the damn prime, not the middle. Make sure y'all hit like on this video so it can help the algorithm, and share it with somebody you feel could benefit from it. So Ivan says, as it pertains to cyber AI, how fast or slow do y'all see it? Oh Lord, see it take for the most local cities to catch up with the big headlines when it comes to their ecosystem adopting new AI, cyber jobs, or rules? That's like a 9-part question, Ivan. Woo! Bridget, you wanna?
So, as y'all know, with just like corporations, the ones that are close to the ground, more close to grassroots to the community, those tend to adopt new ideas and innovations fairly quicker than federal. You know, federal, you have to give 2 children, not just one anymore, and a blood sample. Versus when you actually have a great and innovative idea that's going to help your community and create work, jobs, and help the ecosystem and the footprint and all the things, that's when you go into your unsolicited proposals with Jerry, who you went to school with, football team of 75, and you explain to them how you want to help them and the people in the community. Nobody ever says no to that. If they don't have any money, they will, but most likely, that's how that works there. What do you say?
That's perfect. And I gave an example on one of my videos that I just dropped. So make sure y'all check that out too. But my daughter's school, when they were in preschool, the principal, I don't know, I was maybe at a PTA meeting, half paying attention, but she said that she hired a company to build an app, and she paid like $25,000 for it. Now I used to build apps. That's another job I used to have. And I was like, when? Like, now I'm awake now in the PTA meeting. I'm like, when did you put this out? I don't even know where. I don't even know if she put this out for bid, because it probably was under her threshold as a principal to be able to just swipe the card. So that's another thing, is like, even your kids' school, your school, if you're in college, like, they may have stuff and they don't even know how to get it out, or they're just so busy that they don't even have time to create the solicitation. You know how often I hear that? I hear that on the federal and the local side. I'm like, so you're telling me that the state of the Veterans Affairs Hospital is in your lap and you're too busy or too tired to create a solicitation that makes it better for everyone?
Of course, because 5 o'clock came, and you know what happens at 5. It's a wrap.
Out of
So
here.
yes, Ivan, definitely at this SLED level, if you have an innovative idea, then definitely approach them with how they can make it better. Just like with the schools, if you see something in the PTA newsletter, hey, we're looking to update our systems next year for the parent portal. That if you're in IT and you build software, all your bells should be whistling and humming. So
Yeah, just be in the room, because they might be like, well, we can't, like Bridget said, they don't have any money right then. But then they're like, oh, yeah, Sheena's company, Ivan's company, they did say this, 2 years ago. But 2 years goes really fast when you're in business. People are like, how long? Because you feel like you're supposed to be at a certain level. So when you're not at that level, you're like, okay, I got 6 more months to try to make $50 million.
yep.
6 more months. That's how it fly when you really try to reach these goals. So don't look at it as like 2 years is too long. It's just it's the process. Set goals, but sometimes things will pivot without you even knowing it's supposed to pivot. Okay. So Christian says, I appreciate both of your advice. Thankfully, I've owned my own fitness studio over the past 10 years. So I'm not afraid of hard work, because that is hard work. I'm just trying to figure out the AEC landscape a little bit more. So of course, me and facilities, I work, closely with all of those disciplines, and so does Bridget. And I would say, if you were to get started like today, the first thing is try to work with your employer. If you can't, or there's some sort of non-compete or something like that, then I would try to make friends with as many of those discipline companies or individuals as possible. Because you can know some construction workers who they're like, oh yeah, my company was looking for someone to do blah, blah, blah. Be what is that one that you found, Bridget? A manager, construction manager.
Mm-hmm,
We
mm-hmm.
were looking for that. What do you know? And then here you go. My student Shanita, she started calling construction companies and asking if they needed construction cleanup. She created a whole lane for herself. They don't put out construction cleanup contracts. They put out a construction project, and then it includes construction cleanup. But what she said they were running into, these construction companies, is that they were doing day labor for construction cleanup, and it was a mess because who's going to manage these rogue, random people that don't even know what they're supposed to do? But if I have a company that does it, I can bring in my people that know what to do every single time. Genius. I hadn't even thought of that. So just think about stuff like that.
And then Christian, AEC, I love that arena when it comes to economic development. That's my thing. So your architecture, engineering, and construction, all the key things from cradle to grave, it sounds like, when it comes to building. So that goes back into knowing what lane are you going to be in? Are you in civil? So are you looking at road work, guardrails, sidewalks, asphalt, concrete? So know exactly what industry or type of builds you're doing if you're going to do AC. Now, once you know that, then another low key thing that I like to tell people is watching the news for sure. So let's say you are a concrete company, civil, and the news is saying that they're looking to build sidewalks. So like here in Atlanta, they're trying to make it more walkable, right? To make the traffic not be so bad, but it's always going to be bad if you're here in Atlanta. So they're making it more bikeable. So we know coming down the pipeline that they're going to start building bike lanes everywhere in Atlanta. So to you, again, your bells and whistles should be going off. So you should be contacting the Department of Transportation in your area and then introducing your company, going to their events, sending emails, finding out who the procurement officer is so you can build your business. So, but yes, engineering and construction, very good. And urbanized Atlanta, that's another one I want to tell you about as far as anybody, if you're in construction or development, it's called urbanized, but they have the different locations like Atlanta, Phoenix, and they let you know what's going to be built in your area.
Damn, that's tea right there. Y'all need to be writing that down.
I told you, write it down, take a note.
Taking notes. Hopefully you took that note because even the bridge that fell in Maryland, like I guess it was probably 2 years ago now.
Wow.
Yeah, bad. But they had a big, huge, effort to try to build it within, I think, 3 years. I'm not sure. I kind of lost track of it. I was trying to follow it, but it was a lot. So, even with something like that, and you could be grandiose to build the Brooklyn Bridge, or you could just do these stripes in the McDonald's parking lot. Like, it's no disrespect either way, but you gotta, if you don't have a team, it's really hard to figure out if you. Yeah. So you got your gym, right? Of course, you know how to manage those people. When you are going into another arena, you don't really know how to manage those types of people because in every industry, there's a lot of different layers of people that you're like, why don't they just do this? Or why don't they just do their job? And you're used to people doing their job because they were commissioned or whatever the case may be. So, getting your feet wet doing these stripes in the Dollar General parking lot might be the best bet rather than going straight to the Brooklyn Bridge. Okay. Boom. So Don Lamar, thank you, thank you, thank you. We love you back. Okay. Shonda, boy. Okay, Shonda, you got to share your story about how much you love us, and she's a part of our subscription service. And look, she been out here like, look, we got to slow down on these contracts. We got to slow down. Like, I still got a job. I was like, Shonda, we got you. We're going to make sure that you get straight. She said, what traits separate great subcontracting partners from the ones you would never want to work with again? Let me count the ways. Go ahead, Bridget.
Oh, you want to go? To me, timeliness. So if I reach out to you about an opportunity, I'm like, hey, do you want to get some money with me? And if you don't answer within 24, 48, you're on edge. But timeliness or getting back to me. What's another one? That's one of my big ones, replying and responding.
Timeliness is huge for me. And there's a lot of things. Communication, like just the way you communicate. Like if I say, hey, I'm giving up, usually I'm like da 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 and da 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 go on to the next thing. If I send you everything you need and I say, please respond with this by this date. Now this is just a Sheena thing. So, but and then you call me and say, what is this thing you sent me? the relationship is over. There's no, because I already know that that's going to be the continuing problem that we're going to have. If I'm telling you, look, I feel like, you're the only person I knew that does low voltage or whatever, and you need a certification, and we've talked about it, and then you're like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and you never do it, then I probably don't want to work with you. There's gonna be things that bother you personally that you are gonna say, no, that's not gonna work. People talk to people crazy disrespectful, so I'm never going for that. Just really think about the things that you don't like with any type of capacity, with your coworkers, with whatever. Like, those things are true when it comes to business, because if you don't address those things before money, what you think is gonna happen after money? Y'all gonna be married. We married now, and you
It's
talking
a real relationship. Yeah.
relationship. And so
So don't get married off the first interaction. Okay, you met at a first event and now y'all want to jump into bed together. That's too soon. That's too soon. Go to tea and coffee first, which means having that first conversation after the club, right? To see what you really got in common. Because, with that hypnotic Hennessy, everybody got everything in common, right? So when you do schedule that first, call with them, the first one to me is the synergies, right? Simply, how do we go back and forth and speak with each other? Are you rushing me off the phone? Do I feel like I'm inconveniencing you? Are you trying to sun me? Sheena knows how I feel about that. Like, don't come into this relationship thinking, because I'm from rank in the military, which is why I didn't make it. But, we come in here as equals. What else when it comes to relationships with subs is what I call it.
yes, with subs, and can they do the job? Oh my God, look. Everyone can't clean, so let's start there, okay? Just because you got bodies, you're like, I got 100 people I can bring on this contract, and none of them MFers can clean. Like, y'all, my blood pressure really, my watch just told me to calm down. Like, that is a real thing, and it's like, it's funny, and it's a small thing, and then it becomes a big thing. I've had many examples of, someone, they like, I've been cleaning for 20 years. You don't have to show me how to clean this dorm room. Okay, then they got public hairs in the daggone microwave. So they used one rag, starting with the toilet, and then they went backward and cleaned the whole house, the whole dorm, with the one rag, starting from the bathroom. Like, and that's the thing. Like, you got to also know what you're doing too, because you won't even know what wrong looks like. Now, you're not going to know every single detail about asphalt, but if it doesn't look right, like if you see them messing up and they like chiseling it back out, and then they put it, something ain't right. What's going on? What we need to change? Like, what we need to do? How do we fix this? So it's this. So, Shauna, you didn't open up a whole can of worms, because that's a whole thing. And I know why she's asking too. She's really, really great at connecting. And sometimes people are not who they say they are too. And so they'll say, I've been doing this, or I know how to do this. And then they can't even communicate with you. They don't even get back to you. So you're just as good as someone that doesn't know how to do anything, or someone that's teachable, then you've been doing this for 20 years and you don't know how to respond to a text or a phone call.
And also remember, you guys, when we were once and still are employees, we're all bosses now, right? So remember when you went for that job and you told them you can create like a super Excel formula, and then when they asked you to do it with like a 9-figure, data entry, and then it's like, oh, what am I supposed to do? So just think of that, they're going to give you the same thing that we gave them when we were trying to get the job, right? But then that just goes down into having those conversations, getting to know them, asking the important questions. You have to be kind of like an FBI agent, like I tell Sheena, when people come into your business, because they're going to tell you that they can build a whole hospital, in one setting, but it's up to you to determine if they can or cannot.
That is all facts. I can go on forever.
I know. That's a good one.
I'm trying not to do that, because I don't
Good
want to sound jaded. So, Ivan says, thank you. You're very, very welcome. Okay, John. We had John on the channel. Shout out to John. He is like, he out here carving his own 50 lanes. We love John. Okay. What advice would you give someone transitioning from active duty, wanting to get started? Ooh.
That's you.
Oh, that's me. Okay. Alley-oop to me. So I would say start long before you get out. And that's even if it's just going to the meetings, going to conferences. I say this a lot, but I really want y'all to feel me on this. even if you're transitioning out of a job that you've had for 20, 30 years, military or otherwise, it might sound so sexy what you about to do. And then you get out there, you're like, oh my God, I'm not working anymore. And I hate this SHIT. So why didn't I just at least try to start it before you let your job go? Okay, that's my biggest advice. And find the thing, especially us as veterans. We feel like we can do everything, and we probably can, but can you do everything well? Is it something that you actually want to do? I had a mentor a few years ago, and when I first got started, through ACP, which is a veteran program for free mentors, by the way, and she had another mentee, and the guy was like in Intel or something, like he was a damn '04 in Intel, and he wanted to build an amusement park. That's what his business was. I was like, okay, but that's what he wanted to do. Period. He didn't want to go into none of that stuff that he was, tortured with in the military, obviously, and decided this is what I want to do. And he, I followed the story, and he actually, I don't remember what city it was in, but he built his own little amusement park. And I'm like, that's respect. He found his thing. Don't be laughing at him. He found his thing. And so I was in IT for 20 years, and now I scrub toilets. Bridget was in that emergency room helping to cut motherfuckers open. And now she's, the queen of everything else. But just saying, it may not be what you are doing now. You just get your feet wet with certain things and just try it out and see what you really want to do. That's my biggest advice. I hope that helps someone. You want to add anything to that?
I don't know. I don't know.
What you want to do? What you want to do? Okay, so let me see. I got a lot of questions and I passed all of them.
Oh, you skipped
So,
some?
wait, so Ashley said that's her. Well, I think we went past whatever that was, but she said, "Oh, that's me." So, Mr. Hedges, look, Hedges. I used to work with Mr. Hedges. So crazy, like way
Oh,
back
wow.
when I was an E4, when I was a baby in the
Oh, a
army.
baby.
Baby, okay. So his question is: so as a nonprofit organization seeking to land a contract with, let's say, the VA for educating and providing occupational therapy for veterans, what is the climate for securing a contract and how? That's a great question. So, Bridget, you know a lot about nonprofit, a lot more about nonprofits than me. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and
Um, okay, he says with the VA, so I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you go first so you can tell him what it looks like on that side with the VA, and then I'll bring him over to the SLED.
so the only thing that's making me hesitant is the nonprofit part. I'm not exactly certain if there's a specific pathway for nonprofit or if there's just, you got to go a different way or it's not allowed. That part I don't really know. I want to say that yes, you can as a nonprofit go into the VA, period. Now, if the VA is looking for that thing that you provide, it may not look exactly like, occupational therapy. It might just be like need medical services. And that includes 100 different services. And you're like, well, you guys forgot about occupational therapy, or you forgot about this, and this. Can we include that in the solicitation? They're like, oh, duh, we forgot, or we don't know, or maybe this clinic doesn't do it. This clinic, a different clinic might want to do it in the future. So I think you would have to be creative in a few ways. If it comes out for a bid and you see something come out for bid, but you don't see that, okay, then you got to talk to people. You got to talk to people. You need to ask questions. Send an unsolicited proposal. Those do work sometimes. The federal level, it can be a little tricky. All levels, it can be tricky, but especially at the federal level. And then go in there and just start yapping. I've been to occupational therapy before. I'm like, hey, who your boss? Like who? Okay, who's your boss? And then who's that person's boss? And then just try to see what they have going on because they may be the decision maker somewhere along the line. So for the VA, that's kind of what my advice would be.
Okay, and then for the SLED level, so having a nonprofit, as you know, they have different rules to the game. Those are probably the hardest businesses to run and sustain because a lot of your money dollars come from donations, right? And we know how tight people are with their pockets these days and how money is being pulled. But with those types of contracts, as you probably already know, since you're a nonprofit owner, certain funds that come from certain places when they come into the city are designated for nonprofits. So For instance, we helped a client who was a nonprofit organization, and it says it in the contract too. So if you're in the Atlanta area, we have a proposal writing class coming up, but it says it in the contract if it's specifically for nonprofit or government agencies, like the one that we helped with was for rental. So they had received some money from one of those places, I don't know where this T-Splosh or just one of those, funding that they have in the city from your taxpayer dollars, and they designated for a nonprofit to help get people rent paid, to pay their rent. So it was a rental assistance for a nonprofit organization. And even with that, when you're bidding in your proposals, unlike the traditional proposals, you can only allow certain funds, percentage of funds to admin versus, the actual contract. So there's a lot of maneuvers in nonprofits and SLED, but it's definitely worth to look at. And it depends on what type of nonprofit you have also, right? So if you're in housing, which is what I specialize in economic development, then you're going to contact your local housing authority. Contracts come out of there all the time to build residential communities. Hey, AEC guy, Christian, to build those communities and with the taxpayers' dollars. So I love it.
That's something I didn't even really fully understand. Now I understand. Look at me learning. Go ahead, Bridget.
Go where the money is.
Right, go where the money is. So thank you for that explanation, and thank you for that question. So Alan White said, don't forget about the USA ACE. Is that the ACE that I just said, or is that something different? USACE. I wonder if that's the same thing.
All these acronyms. Y'all got to spell it out for the people in the back.
From now on, y'all got to spell everything out because we got acronyms on acronyms on acronyms in our mind, okay? And thank you so much, Shonda, that we are top tier.
Shonda.
Be that. Yes, heavy on the boundaries. Look, I didn't trigger John. My bad, John. I know, because John had a janitorial company and he was on 2 phones all day, every day. I was like, "Ooh, Lord." So yeah, definitely understand. Sheena and Bridget don't play. Keep them as your favorite 5. Make sure y'all hit like on this video. Like, and share.
Yes.
All right, Christian. When looking to win contracts or gauging interest, is it better to reach out to the procurement officers at the state and local level or leadership like director of DOT or director of public works? That's a great question.
That's a great question. You want to go first?
When it comes to government contracting, it's like maybe, and it depends, right? So I would say it can't hurt. Now, there are some contracts that say, do not call us, do not email us, do not reach out. If you do, we're going to send somebody to your house. Like, not really for real, but they will get upset. So truly, the buyer is usually going to be someone lower than the procurement officer. Well, pretty much almost always. So the example I've given before is when we did the fire station flooring. That was my first contract. And the fireman in charge was the one who we won the contract because it was put out for bid, but that's the person I communicated with exclusively. So he had to vet us to make sure he liked us. The procurement officer is like, dirt. They don't know what's going on. They're just like, hey, did they go to the site visit? Do you like them? Here's the price that they gave. Let's go. So I would say it can be advantageous. Now, what I don't like is reaching out to people that can't make decisions. So they make the decision when the thing exists, or if they're given the power for it to exist. Now, if you go to them and say, hey, I got a great idea. You guys need to update all your plans, because your plans are old. And if the zombies come, we need to have the plans written correctly. I'm literally making that up off the dome, so I don't know. But like stuff like that, where you're coming to them and they're like, that's above my pay grade. I have no idea what you're talking about. But if you're going to them and you're communicating and you see their need, they have a need that you've identified, then that's when they can kind of make the decisions. Like, hey, boss, procurement officer, I met Christian, and they can do this thing that we've been talking about for the last 5 years. So if I'm reaching out to somebody, if I'm reaching out to the director, and they're like, well, I don't know, like I don't know where the money is, how it get here. I just know the 1st and the 15th I'm getting paid. I don't like that because I feel like I wasted I don't like being on the phone, so I wasted a phone call. But it all depends on how you know these people, how they're presented, because they can also be at the site visit and say, if you got any questions, please call me. We got so much work in the city of Savannah. Then you're like, oh well, shoot, that's a bet. I'm gonna bring you this thing that I think you guys should do. I hope that makes sense.
So for me, it's how the information comes down the pipeline, right? The pike, however they say it there. So let's say they are adding on a lane on the WebGen in Gwinnett, right? I will contact the DOT director before it even comes out on a contract, just to get a little bit more information about it. Hey, I saw that you guys, I have a civil roadway company, and I see that you guys are adding a lane onto WebGen. When is that start? When is that going to start? How far is it going to be? And these are the questions you can ask in city council, like face to face. So now you're getting FaceTime, which is even better. And then from there, when the contract does come out, that's where you ask the procurement officer those certain questions as far as are there any certain license that you need or certifications for the contract before it comes out, right? Because the cone of silence, once it's out, then you can't ask them questions. But when you talk to the DOT person or the public works person, they kind of let you know about the project. It may not be coming out RFP, or they may even just be able to, do a P card purchase, which Sheena will touch on. So yeah, it will be both, but for me, it will be the directors first, because like Sheena said, they both have different jobs. They're there from 9 to 5. Okay, as a business owner, as we all know, we work from 12 a.m. to 12 a.m.
So
So
11:59.
yeah, so definitely build relationships with those directors, managers of those agencies.
And she gave a complete opposite answer of me. So I love that because it's the different perspectives. Now she truly is like the bidding in your backyard guru. Truly, I want to be behind the computer and bid. I don't necessarily.
I'd be like, come on, let's go to downtown
Yeah,
Atlanta to this event. I'd be like, the band's gonna be there. Everybody who makes decisions, we got to be there. And
Truly,
we'll walk right up to the front. Hi, my name is Sheena. My name is Bridget.
that's
So
her saying that. Not
it is. It is. She'll be right there. She'll go with me. She'll
I'll go
ride with
behind
me
her and be
now.
like, hey, I do stuff too. So yeah, that's truly. So that's the two different perspectives. So make sure y'all hit like on this video. Great questions. Y'all killing them with the questions. I loving this. So I see later that this gentleman says his name is Lafayette because he asked this question 3 times. So my apologies, Lafayette. He said, what agencies historically move fastest on awards for professional services and training vendors? I would say the only agency that I know that moves fast, period, is FEMA. So I don't know if FEMA can do.
Ain't no more FEMA.
Ain't no more FEMA. Lord, have mercy. So I don't know if they move fast with professional services or training vendors. So that's actually a very unique question because it just depends on what the agency, what the problem is. Now everybody who's trying to do what's it called, damage control when it came to like prior to getting rid of DEI, when we had to implement DEI, those contracts came out like rapido because they were like, oh my God, we got to fix this. And I was going through the corporate side of contracting back then. And I had so many opportunities to do corporate contracting because all these agents, all these companies, these, regular Fortune 500, but they're still companies just like we are, right? Just make a little bit more money. And they were in damage control. Like we got to train our people on how to be inclusive, all these things. And I used to work for Accenture way back in the day. And that's one of the most inclusive companies on planet Earth. Okay. Like ain't nobody weird. There's no weird, there's no strange, there's no different. Everybody is the same. So with that comes training videos, that comes professional services. Like they'll bring in, of course, before they were bringing in DEI professionals to train the staff on how to be inclusive. So as far as fast, I think it's more of the times. Now, if there's a historical agency, because we teach about federal, local, and corporate. So if you're talking about just federal, I don't know. necessarily. If we're talking about local, then you might want to focus on schools or like universities and K-12. Um, yeah, like just I guess it really would depend on who's done it before.
Yes, so for me, it's about keeping your ear to the streets. So for me, this is definitely one of those depends, maybe. So what happened here in Midtown, a water line broke here. And so that's an immediate need. So they put out a contract at the Army Corps of Engineers. That's immediate. And remember, these are the relationships. So if you went to the Georgia, well, not Georgia Power, they don't fix the water, man. Who fixed the water in the city? The
Water,
utilities company.
Public Works.
Public
You know,
Works, yes, Public Works. So when you went to that Public Works meeting, and did a meet and greet, and then you went to your chamber meet and greet and saw Steve there too. And then when the water line broke, and they needed people immediately because water is spewing out in the streets and traffic, things like that. That's what determines how fast it moves. And again, these things are on the news. Same thing with roadways. Somebody's always getting knocked off on the street, then you know that they're going to try to put up some guardrails or do some type of improvement quickly before any lives are lost. So again, that all goes back into focusing on a agency or department in your own backyard, and you know what's going on in your own neighborhood. You know it's a kid getting picked off on the corner once a summer, every summer. And so that may be a main line item at the city council
damn,
meeting or on the
Bridget.
news. I know, right? But it's an urgency, right? They don't want any more kids to get knocked off their bicycle. And so that's how you can really tell how fast things are going to move in your city. Keep your ear to the streets in your own backyard.
True. And at the same time, they'll send out not sources thought, but sometimes they'll send out bids and then pull them back just to see if there's anyone enticed by them. And they may, just like anyone's has hired people or they've applied for a job, there's a lot of jobs that will put out an opportunity. What is it called? Damn, it's been so long since I had a job. What is it called? Pull out a job listing. Damn.
Post.
What is it called again? Put out a job listing just to see if there's any interest, even though they're not planning on hiring. So they may do that, and you could just look at bids to see what's out, just to see if that agency does it. Because there's some agencies that repeatedly do the same thing. So just now with my interior plant maintenance contract, there's not a whole lot of agencies that are going to care about plants. MARTA barely cares about plants. Okay, they barely care. But there's going to be companies that they care, and then some that don't. So you don't want to chase the ones who, they're in a warehouse and there's no sunlight. That's not going to be where you're going to find your plant contracts, or even where you're going to find your professional services contract. They just all labor workers. Though you got to evaluate everything, and those things are going to come with time. Everybody wants to get these $50 million contracts day one. We have years in this thing, okay? And we work hard. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna try to SHIT on anybody's work ethic, but between the two of us, we work 40 hours a day. Okay, we make up hours, and still learning and still trying to figure out different ways to maneuver and pivot. So you're not going to figure everything out in the same day. So if you see something, it happened. It just happened to happen. So then follow that path. See where that path leads you. It literally is that easy. Okay, well, easy. Okay. Thank you so much. Sasha, also GovCon now student. Hey, girl.
Hey.
So go to as many IBMF events and programs as possible. So IBMF is a veterans program. It's like it's the Oprah of veteran programs. So definitely check out the IBMF programs. I do teach at one of them, EBV at Texas A&M twice a year. So if you sign up for that, then you'll see me, hopefully, if they keep bringing me back. So this is the question that we answered. I hope we answered your question, Lafayette. Shonda said, if you guys have not signed up for Sheena's GovCon, Sheena and Bridget's GovCon Now subscription package, you're truly missing out. Company has soared. And she said she wasn't ready. And she wasn't. She was, but she wasn't. She was, but she wasn't, because it was just kind of like, I told y'all my story, how in 2020, I didn't win anything for 9 months. And then the first week of 2021, I won 6. No one can prepare for that, right? So sometimes it be like that. And that's what's about to happen to Bridget too. Next week, her hair's gonna be disheveled, and she's gonna be like, I didn't want all 15 contracts that I put my blood, sweat, and tears into. And then
I like money.
$1 That's it.
I've been kissing a lot of babies out here.
And they're gonna be born with,
Are they?
Yes.
Okay.
I think this is Anissa. Hey girl. Thank you. Can you touch on city pool contracts? Pool, meaning like when you say
Parks and Rec pool?
Are you talking about a physical pool, or are you talking about where they put a bunch of people, like vendor contracts? If so, let me know. So you're welcome, Mr. Hedges. Oh, hey, Melanie. What's up, girl?
Hey.
I got to get you on the channel too. She got great stories. Okay, so having the time of my life, 2008. Okay, Army Corps of Engineers near me has several janitorial opportunities. Hey. Okay, so what we doing? What we doing? And where are you located? Okay, having the time of my life. Where you located? Parrish Moore. Look, hey Parrish. So Parrish is my mentor. Well, he don't be mentoring people no more. He be getting his money. But way back when I first started, I don't even think I was doing government contracting. He was like, hey, get to work. He was on Facebook like, get to work. And I don't know if I've ever said it publicly, but I really appreciate you because you did kind of crack the whip and it, it worked. So I appreciate you and all the stuff that you've done. Also a government contractor that does shredding services, the only shredding company I know. The only, okay, and document scanning. So if y'all need that, then look them up. Okay. So having time in my life, I want to sign up and be able to give a full-time commitment. No, Sean, and I'll answer for Shonda. She is not full-time. She has a full-time job, like a real 12-hour a day job.
At night. At night.
And if you
graveyard shift.
Right. You ever worked at night, you know that is not for the week. And she's still doing this, okay? So
and she goes to those events in the daytime. So she gets off at what? Shauna gets off at 9 o'clock and then has to go to an event at 10 and meet people, show her capability statement, make new friends, kiss some babies, and then get about, a couple of hours of sleep. But she's dedicated, and that's what it takes to make these millions. And that's what y'all want, right? You got to do $1 million moves if you want that kind of money.
That's a fact. Say that. Put $1 million moves in the chat. $1 million moves. It's so true. This is not a get rich quick. You can get rich quick. You can. It happens. But even with people that do that, they after that $1 million and hit that account in the first 6 months, they're like, oh shoot, what do I do now? They usually are not even able to move the way that they need to move because they haven't done the groundwork respectfully. You know what I mean? Like I was one of them. I didn't make $1 million, but I made a lot and didn't know what the hell I was doing. Opened my bank account with my first check. So all the stuff I'm teaching y'all is because I didn't do it right. Okay. That's all I'm saying. So Lafayette says y'all are straight awesome. Great answer for me. Staying focused and signing up with you on my 40 hours. Join the team, okay?
Yeah.
Real workers. And I'm just gonna say, we really do this in real life. Like we still bid it. I got some bids to do tonight. Okay, we still do this. So we're getting all the new, latest and greatest information out here. And I'm not shitting on anybody. Ooh, I said the word. I'm not pissing on anyone else, but the people that might be teaching you don't even do this anymore. So how can they
real? Yes.
Just saying. I'm just
For
saying.
real.
Do they have a company that they're bidding on contracts and they're actually servicing these things? I got employees too. Employees, 1099s, contractors, all of it. And I can see when they raised the damn minimum wage and I just went to cry for 3 days, I'm experiencing this stuff real time, okay? Real time. So thank you for that. Okay, Sheena, when we sign up for your program, it's our program. GovCon our program. Sign up for the program. Do we need to be ready to be full-time? Now I'm running my Medicare business full-time. We could bring the Medicare business over. I mean, we'll have to talk about it. Talk about what you
have contracts as well. So
yeah, they have all types. Y'all are doing so great. with the questions. Yes, $1 million moves, honey.
Sorry, and if you do have a Medicare, Medicaid business, you should definitely be following along what's going on in the news right now so you can stay ahead of the 8 ball. And since a lot of people are going to lose their Medicaid, maybe it's a way you can help them to make sure that they keep it in your business. I'm not sure what you do, but that's definitely kind of like COVID, how people had to pivot to make sure that they did the things that was necessary for the world, the community, and for them to survive. Then maybe that's something, that you could do as well. So yeah, put a little bit more about your business. Put your website in the chat.
And that's for having the time of my life. So speaking of which, you could be a lot of the things that people do. You could be a consultant to do it. What's that one we saw for the art? It was like they needed an art consultant, and they needed the artist. It was like the mural thing that we talked about, Bridget. It wasn't murals, but it was something like that. So it was a separate contract for the consultant. So you tell us what we need. And then we need someone to actually do the thing that you told us.
They wanted them to let them know what type of graffiti of art should they paint on the wall or on the Croc Street tunnel.
Are we like,
a picture of Outcast. Like that's literally all they're looking for you to say. That's it.
Are we getting on that, Bridget? Because what? I used to be able to draw. Don't play with me.
Like, what is this? Stick people? Like, it's art.
Right. It's the eye of the beholder, okay? Girl. So it could be I said all that to say, you could be the consultant also. There's contracts for that. Like, even if you're like, I don't know if I want to sell whatever it is that you do, you could be a consultant.
I love consultant contracts. That was one of my first government contracts, was just telling them what to do with marketing. I had to do no flyers, social media posts, nothing. Just let them know what they should do. I just had to talk, just the things that I know. And it was a check in the mail.
Woo!
And
we love those. That's why we love government. We really love government contracting for real. Okay. Like
for real.
Or probably a little too much. I swear.
They're like, get a life.
Right, no life, just government contracting. Make sure y'all hit like on this video, okay? All right, I appreciate you guys' advice. So for clarity, I sell software as a service, hardware like Autodesk, Civil 3D, Bluebeam, reality capture software, etc. I support AEC professional. Okay, so you don't do the
we have put him into a whole nother.
I know, we just read you your rights, and they were wrong rights. Okay, you do IT. So if you guys do put your information here, make sure we are clear about what you do, like what your job is or what you're looking to do, what industry you're in, so we won't say all the wrong stuff. But for anybody that was in construction, that's for you. That's for you. So he's in IT, so that's great. So was Ivan, and so are several other people that I'm sure that are on this call. So appreciate that. All right. So sign up for the program, girls. GovConNow.co. GovConNow.co. Would you go ahead and type? Can you type that in the chat?
Casey. Was that Kentucky? I don't know. Where's Casey?
Kansas, is that Kansas City?
Okay.
I think maybe. $1 million moves, Bridget said.
Oh, yes. I can't type it in. It's not going to let me do it.
Okay, so let me put that in there. GovCon.
You make $1,000 moves, you're going to get $1,000. I think a lot of this came from MLM, like Sheena said, when you had to be your own walking billboard of your company. Nobody's going to know what you do unless you tell them. Nobody's going to run up to you and be like, oh my God, what do you do? Tell me about your business. I want to write a check. Says nobody. So you have to open your mouth and let people know. I used to, I used to sell those wraps. Okay, and if anybody in here saw those wraps, put it in the chat. And they wanted you, if you were at the gas station pumping gas, they wanted you to talk to the car beside you, be like, hey, have you tried the wraps? So that really broke me literally into letting people know that anywhere I go that we have marketing services. Kansas City, Missouri. Okay.
That's what I thought. Okay, because there's a Kansas City, Missouri and a Kansas City, Kansas. And I was in my late 30s when I found that out. I was like, oh, had no idea. Okay.
Come on, Kansas City.
Oh, okay. Yes, she's full-time. Sheena and Bridget are just fantastic in their entire process. They work hard for their clients. Yes, we try. We so try. Ivan said, big stepper, the biggest. Don't play. Don't play. So, and then Paris says, Sheena, you have now become the mentor. Look at you.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now this is the big stepper right here too. Stephanie, what's up, Stephanie?
Stephanie.
And I said that person made a gazillion dollars in 6 months. That was Stephanie, but she kept going. She was like, hold my beer. And she kept going. I was like, how you still winning contracts? God, you just started yesterday. Yesterday you started, and now you got a 50 million contracts. Okay, but we love you, Stephanie. Boo. Boo, boo, boo. I also interviewed her on the channel. Okay, so having time in my life. Yes, I've been in the game for 17 years and helping people make moves when Medicaid changes. It's fun and a passion for me. I'm licensed in 8 states and DC and partner with UHC, Aetna,
Okay.
Cigna,
Etc.
oh, etc. Okay, my bad. Okay, cool. That's great. And so GovCon.co, that's where y'all need to go. Okay. So how do I
Okay,
get
let me just give having a time of my life. It was a time in 2008. Message for that. So, like I said, definitely you want to start marketing now, like it's the last of days that you have this service because you know what's about to happen. So, the more that you let people know, hey, because there's doctor's offices that are helping people beforehand understand what they need to do in order to keep their, Medicaid or Medicare. So, yeah, you should definitely be beating the streets right now. That's it.
No, that's great. And just have the conversation. Just like, so what are you guys gonna be doing about this? Just ask. You never know what they might be like, girl, okay, look, so this person said this, da, 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 and now you have, the information that you need, and you're not, because some people feel weird about being kind of like salesy or whatever. Some people don't care, some people do. I also was in several MLMs, not the rap one, but several, and it was so cringy for me. It was cringy. It was cringy. But if you just have the conversation and you already do this, right? You already been selling the product and helping people, then you could just have these other additional conversations where it can lead you to a contract, or you can find an actual bid, because I see some for like insurance and all kinds of stuff.
That's
I
a
don't know.
lot.
There's a lot. I don't know what I'm reading, so I don't even try to read it. But there's some, I'll see them come through. I'm like, oh, another one. So just, look out for them. And then when you're reading the solicitation, that's why I love local, because a federal be trying to trip you up. They're like, so far part 97.2.1.
Like what?
I don't even know what that is. And then you just stop before you even, continue, before you even try. But the local ones are going to say, this is specifically what we need. This is specifically what you need to have. And that's it. And y'all got AI, so I don't want to hear nothing. We started using up here before AI, okay? You know how farther along, I don't even want to go there. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. But I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier about meet and greets. So what's the best way to work that meet and greet? Or
The
like
best
which ones?
The best way, like Sheena said, is not to be too salesy. Have conversations with people. I know I kind of said you go up and say, hey, my name is so and so and I do XYZ, but make it feel natural. When someone comes up to you, you don't want them to blurt their business in your face. How are you doing? It was 26 degrees outside in Atlanta today. It snowed. Things like that. So build a rapport, just like a regular relationship. When you go out to the club, you don't say, my name is Bridget, I'm 26, a Scorpio, like long walks on the beach. You build a relationship. So the same thing when you're out and about. And what was the second part of that question you said?
Like where, well, I can add in for where, like there's agencies that will send an email with a flyer saying, hey, how to do business with the city of Atlanta. And they want to see you. Bridget loves those. I'd be like, delete. But
and then I forward it right to her after she deletes it.
I already deleted this. That means it's out of my life. It's out of my brain. But they are good because you can meet the, of course, the movers and shakers, the people who are in your community who are bidding on certain things. And then if they show up, then they might be pretty serious, or they're trying to learn. So that's still, good things, that you're a good vibe that you're going into. You're meeting the people who are making decisions, usually, hopefully, depending on whatever it is that they're trying to do. And if they're doing how to do business with blah, 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 usually they have some work that's coming down the pipeline. So they're going to tell you right there, even before the bid goes out. Now, does that put you in line? Perhaps, maybe, it depends. You might know your old third grade, whatever, classmate is now the procurement officer for Gwinnett County. You're like, I never knew. Thank goodness I came to this meeting. Look at God, and now you have an in. If you're qualified, it's not illegal, So just yeah.
I love those, love those events. And the way you find them, of course, is following them on Instagram and LinkedIn. Also, when you go to their website, like ATL Dot or City of Atlanta, they always have a sign up newsletter. Sign up. I sign up for all of them, sometimes twice for different emails, just to make sure I don't miss an event. Like when MARTA, they send out information all the time when they have new bids come out. Hey, just so you know, we have these bids out, just in case you haven't checked lately. And they're always having meet and greets, and aside from meeting the possible decision makers there, it's other people who's in the room who may be possible subcontractors. That is a hard thing to do when you start bidding and it's a large contract and you just started. You may need one other team to help you. You know where you find them at? In this room. All y'all do train consulting, trainings, bus driver trainings. All y'all have something in common if you're at that MARTA event. So meet those people in the room. And like Sheena said, I think it does give you a leg up because you know that it's coming down the pipeline. So you know that you need to get 3 people together because when a RFP comes out, you got 3 days, 10, however many to find some people to do it. But you already knew 2 months ago when you went to the event that you need Tiffany and Tina to help you on this contract.
Yes, and a lot of times they'll tell you what you need to be compliant. I've had she wasn't a student, but she was a student in a class I taught, and she didn't have insurance. And so she won a contract, but she couldn't get the insurance in time, and then they canceled the contract. And it was very unfortunate. It was really sad because she was like, oh my God, I finally won one. But if she had went to that meeting, even if it was months ago, they're like, look, every single thing we award needs this insurance, period. Then she would already had it. So it also helps you with the compliance, especially when you're in those difficult industries, like anything to do with IT, you're gonna probably need 50, insurances or other stuff too.
Or construction.
Or Lord, or construct, absolutely, or construction, because they might not just want the GC license, where GC license is different depending on what state you're in, which is absolutely crazy. So some states, all you gotta do is go down to the courthouse and say, I'm a GC now. Some of them you gotta give a blood sample, plasma, you gotta give your whole life, and they still might say no, and you gotta be an apprentice. So that's a whole, I know, don't get triggered, Bridget, because I just got triggered and I ain't even really working on it. But like they might, being at that meeting lets you know what you may or may not, you need to get ready for, even if you're not bidding on something that day.
And that's the beauty of it. They let you know. They don't do that at the federal level. Either you got it or you ain't. So, because they want you to be prepared. They want you to bid on these opportunities. They need somebody to dispose of the rubber tires. So they let you know. Make sure you have the rubber tire disposal certificate. That may take 2 weeks, 3 months, but at least you know this is what you need. And then when it comes time to bid on other ones, it's like playing spades. You be like, that, I got all of these, all of them. So
Big Joker and the little Joker. What?
That's how I be feeling when I bid on these contracts.
I
Oh, you need
love
what?
that.
You
Oh
need
my
workers'
God.
comp?
I'm using that forever, Bridget. Yo, the big Joker, the little Joker, the goddamn 2 of diamonds,
I
and
got
a 2
all
of
of them.
spades.
Draw
What?
2, reverse. Look, I'm mixing the card games because y'all know I don't know how to play spades, but Uno, meet me there. So
Yo, but that's a really good point. I want to hang on that for a second, because even with the stuff that you're working on, right? It's like it really is a rinse and repeat. And that's why I tell people it's not going to be identical, but it's going to be at least usually a 75% solution. So that's why I tell people to stop switching up these industries and just going after whatever, because you also, that same young lady who had to get her contract canceled, she won one. So to me, that's still a win in my book, but it was just a technicality of why she couldn't execute. But like, she was going after so many different types of things. She's like, I don't know what I do. So when someone asks you, what do you do? And you done been on a grass cutting contract, real estate contract, a computer contract, computer delivery, what's it called? Chromebook. You doing damn labels on cups. Like when someone says, what do you do? You're going to be like, I do a bunch of stuff. When I hear that, my ear flaps.
They turn
They go
inside.
down. They go inside of my ear hole because I know you don't do those things. Like you extremely don't do those things. To the max, you don't do them because it's like there's no way. These big companies, they have departments, they have thousands of employees, so they can do IT and healthcare and construction in their one company. You are not Deloitte, respectfully. Okay, so start off with, I'll give you two things,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
two,
Mm-hmm.
and master that. Bridget can do whatever because all you gotta do is really read, but most of y'all don't want to read, and that's okay. Know your strengths. Bridget can literally do any contract because she's like, who can I find? Hello, my name is Bridget.
Yeah. And I think you guys, because I started at the federal level, like a lot of you, I was like, I want to make $10 million. And then when I read the contract and they were like, well, you're not going to get paid for, maybe 45 days. Can you foot, 800K bill? And I was like, wait a minute. Let me have a couple of seats. And so since I started there, when I started reading the SLED contracts, it was so much easier. And then again, they're doing construction at Gwinnett Place Mall. I grew up there. I know the areas. I know the roads around there. I know the stores around there. So that's why I'm like, start with what you know. Meet them where they are. And then I was going to say something else about what you said, but I forgot because I wanted to say that. Building a relationship. Sorry. So going back to about when you find subs, that's another trigger that you should write down on your list from tonight. If they say they can do everything, they can't do nothing. So just like you as a business owner, if they come and be like, yeah, I can pressure wash the building and then do real estate and then I do IT. Oh, and then I can do, some construction. Which one is it? So to me, you don't do any of them well. So again, just pick one to get started with and then hone in on that.
Yes. Now, the only grace I'll give you is if there's something that is not usually out for bid. Now, I had one friend who stumped me. She's a professional organizer. I have never, ever seen anything close to that. The only thing that might be close to it is janitorial, and that clearly ain't that. So, like, she used to be the person that came and organized people's stuff, not the trash people, but organized people's stuff on hoarders. She's like, I've tried everything. I have never found a contract. She might be better on the corporate side, or she might be better working with moving companies, but she's never going to see professional organizing contract. It's just not going to happen. I look at contracts till my eyes bleed. I've never seen one. Okay. So hers would have to be in cahoots with something else. Just like I said, the construction cleanup is never going to be separate. So when you're looking for what you want to do, hone in on the one thing, but it may not look like that. It may be related or heavily connected to something else. So don't get discouraged. If I found a plant contract that I've been manifesting for the last 5 years, y'all will find the thing, okay? You will find the thing. All right, so having a time of my life. My kiddo says, Ma, you don't sell, you tell them what they're gonna do. She's 17. Today, was born in 08 when I knew I was having fun. Having the time of your life. My company is Tag Business Enterprises. Is that an okay name? Oh, that's one of my favorite questions. Is it okay with you? That's the question. There's a company called Big Ass Fans, and they get plenty of federal contracts.
Because ain't no question about what they got. Number one, it's in their name. Now, when it comes to name, I'm a little bit more of a stickler on that, especially when it comes to like the spelling of the names and things like that. Like, yeah, you can be creative, but just really think about, I call it the litmus test, right? Let's say you're riding in a car, somebody next to you, and they're like, hey, what's the name of your business? But if you say it, you got to spell it. So, if it's black something and you put a C instead of the K, you got to be like, it's BLAC. You don't have time for that. So just make sure, that something easy to understand. Maybe, it tells exactly what your business does. Think of things like that.
And I'm a little more lenient on that. I mean, I got to explain mine every day. Foresight, okay?
And
But
you have to spell it.
And I have to spell it. And people are like, what? But then people are like, oh, they're like, oh, that's kind of cool and memorable. So, it really just depends. You got GoDaddy, okay? So we know GoDaddy because we said it. It doesn't sound weird anymore. But if you can ever remember the first time you heard GoDaddy, what are we talking about? And it's nothing like what we would ever think it would be, or what we thought it was. So, it's really about how do you feel about it. My original business name is so cringy. I changed my name. Like, I didn't even want to do no DBA. I wanted that thing to be erased, like completely out of the system. I wanted to be renamed. And that's when I knew, okay, I don't like this name. So if you don't like it, then that's what's the most important thing. And confused minds don't buy too. Because if you are an IT company and your company is Joe Plumber, they be like, how is Joe Plumber doing? So those things do matter to an extent.
They do matter. And then also tag business enterprises. I don't know what that is. So usually if you have something where what you do is not in the name, make sure you have like a subtitle up under it. So like with Foresight Industries, when we were making them a common household name or common corporate name, there's facilities management. I think we added light construction at one point under there, just so people can have a little bit more of a better idea, what the company does.
Facts, though. Facts. So thank you for that. Blessings, ladies. I appreciate everything you both do. I truly believe both of you that both are two of the best in this space, period.
Come on now.
Appreciate that, Ivan, always. I know he's on, he late night. So, Tima, because he's leaving. Yay, Ivan. We'll see you soon. The workshop. So right now we're doing a series. So we're doing a bid boot camp series, and we're on the second class. So this is the proposal writing class that we have on the 20th, and I don't know how I forgot to say that in the last pause. But yes, we have a bid boot camp for proposal writing. It is an all-day event. Like, leave your phone at home because you're going to be fully engaged, and you're going to leave there with a proposal. So we're doing multi-series. We're just trying to see what people are really looking for, where their pain points were. Our first one was super fantastic. Like, we were looking for 10 people and we got like 50. So
yes.
It was
amazing. It was how to do business in Clayton County. So what we're doing right now, we're on this world tour in Georgia, where we go to different counties after we build relationships with the procurement officers and the schools there, and then we have a bid boot camp so we can connect you directly with the procurement officers in the county. So put your county in the chat. I don't know if we can go to Kansas City, Missouri.
Look, I ain't going.
It's in person, it's in person, because we gotta look at you and your pupils to make sure that you understand how to write these proposals.
No virtual. Sorry, this is too intense for virtual. It just will not work.
And we're going to find a contract for you as well. So those of you who sign up and register for the class, we find a contract for you prior to. So like Sheena said, you'll be walking away with a nice little proposal.
Remember back in the day when you used to go to the SBA or something and they give you that little business plan that you leave with? So I know this won't be because you'll already be doing the thing you really want to do, because you had the business plan. You're like, now what? You don't even know what you're supposed to do with it. But this is like something that's real that we're actually you're gonna go home with it. You're gonna use as your template, even if it's or you can use it for the opportunity that we find for you. So
exactly.
Period. Yes, reading proposals will break your heart, and it did for a long time. And I was like, no, get it together. Okay. Read, sit down and read line by line. It took a couple of coffee and a couple of tequila, but I finally was able to just know what I'm looking for. So it's okay. It takes a while. Some of us have a severe ADD, and you may not ever be that person to read the opportunities, but find somebody that can. Get my daughter, when she was 14, she's 20 now. She used to work for me, and so she would do the part that I couldn't do was the tedious filling out every single document with the same information. Like, ooh, baby, that I can't. My brain won't let me do that. So I hired her to do it until I was able to afford another assistant. But she's been probably the best assistant I ever had anyway, for real. But yes, you just keep trying. How to protect your bids from the subs. I'm moving into janitorial, like Sheena said. I did not say. Bridget says I'm making everybody go into janitorial.
She's converting everybody into janitorial services.
I did not say. Look, take that back. Okay, now you prove Bridget right. I did not say. But if you're here, welcome. Right. But had a sub undermine me before on a security bid at a rec center in Maryland. So that's a great question. Bridget, you work with a lot of different types of subs. So how do you keep them jokers from running off on the plug?
Um, a lot of the subs that I work with, they are not in government contracting. I really find a sweet spot. It's just like, again, when you find a mate or a relationship, you look for certain things. So you also have to know your value prop, right? What can you do that they cannot do? If you pressure wash it and they pressure wash it too, of course they're gonna, people try to eat out here. So you have to make sure when you do find your subs that you can do something they can't do, they can do something that you can't do. So it's a good fit. If somebody feels like they can live life without you, period, in any capacity, then they're going to go out on their own, you know? So,
And that value prop can be your certification. That's one of the, I guess,
yeah,
easiest ones. And then the other one is that a lot of these people, especially in these industries like service industries, the paperwork makes them want to vomit. They don't want to touch a paper. They don't know how to do QuickBooks. They don't know how to do nothing. That was my superpower starting off because I was like, my contractor was like in his 60s already. I mean, he could build a house from the ground up, baby. But you told me to do QuickBooks, and he starts short circuiting. So that I knew, I'm like, well, if I can do the documents, find the opportunity, and say, hey, go out there and do the thing, it's a no brainer. So that's one of the biggest value props that me and Bridget bring in every single level. They're like, how do you do government contracting? And I got to remember that there are people that don't do it. They do what they do exceptionally well, but they might only do commercial, they might only do corporate, they might only do federal. How do you do local? That's where our sweet spot is, like triply sweet spot, because we have multi-million-dollar companies that we work with and that we have worked with that are like, how do you do SLED? And it
yeah,
blows my mind. But
9 figures
9 figures, yo. Oh, girl. And they don't know how to do this.
at
So,
all.
like at all. Like, just forget it. I don't want to do it. Like, la, 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 la. And that could be your value proposition right there, is you know how to read and do paperwork. Okay? Just saying. Just saying. All right. Y'all showing up. Make sure my likes don't match how many people are on. My likes don't match. Okay? So, yep, it's in person. You already answered that. Oh, Stacy was at the first one. Yes.
Yay!
Read it 3 times. Look, Parrish is also one of those people. He's like, look, so you need to go on page 92 and write it down. I'm like, Parrish. But I like the old school because it kind of, this is, of course, prior to AI. And he used to show me stuff where I'm like, oh my God, it has to be that granular. He's like, look up the company, see how long they've been in business, look at the people that were. I'm like, oh my God. But that is the stuff that I ended up going to do anyway. So it was like, I didn't want to learn it at the time, but he is really, really granular and really, really helped me understand that you have to read this no matter whether you want to do it or not, or hire someone to do it. Right? So, yes, Atlanta, November 20th. November 20th. That is next week. Oh my God. Next
Lafayette, where are
Thursday.
you located?
You said who?
Lafayette. That's who that
Oh,
is, right?
Lafayette.
Lafayette.
I
Am
just
I
say it
making up
like
a
that.
whole new name? Am I pronouncing the A with a sorry? Where are you located?
Yes, where you and look, you guys go to everything else. Y'all will go to a party in another state. You can come here and do these daggone proposals. I don't want to hear it.
Absolutely. And it's not like she said, it's all day. So it will feed you too. Don't you worry.
We'll feed you now. That's a fact. Um, be successful in janitorial. So janitorial, it is, girl. Listen, I didn't tell you to do no janitorial. Don't be
Yes, she
put that on
did.
me.
Yes, she did.
When your hair start turning gray and you're like, oh Lord, what? I'll be like, hey, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Okay. So okay, so Paris says, I always tell my subs, we take the pain out of doing business with the government. They love that concept. That is great. The pain, because to them it's painful to learn how to read the opportunity, how to find the opportunity. People are still asking both of us, how do you find contracts? How do you find solicitation? And again, we got to go back to the beginning. I've been doing this for over 11 years now. I vaguely remember when I didn't know how to do this, like, so you gotta, You got to just use whatever it is that you have, and then whoever you meet, maybe they're not the right person, but then like what can find the people that I can do this thing with. I have a certification. Everybody around here, they don't have it because of the virtue of where I'm located or the paperwork. Again, that's one of the biggest sellers.
Mhm.
So Tracy is in South Carolina, and then yep, gonna say that. Da, 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 da. Boom, a lot of people agreed. Stacy's in Atlanta. So Lafayette is in Raleigh. Okay, North Carolina.
Okay.
Um, will this only be on the 20th or you do it again? We're gonna do a different class. So be there or be square. Okay.
Next one, and y'all let us know if it's something that you would come to, is the subcontractors and teaming partners. How to find those people. So important. If it's one thing that we both learn how to do through the military is to mobilize people, mobilize units for specific missions. So we have brought that over to government contracting, and we can take any contract. We can build a whole city at this point in staff it. It's pretty much almost like staffing, but again, we're building relationships with these people. We talk to them maybe twice a week, whether we schedule it or we see each other at events. But yeah, that's how we start to build our powerhouse, really.
Yeah, and that's just one way to do the contracts. We can still just bid blindly. You can bid blindly and win. I've won
Yes.
many. Now you're probably gonna do a lot more because Bridget will bid and go, hi, I want to just bid. So I'm
You
gonna put
remember
in.
that contract at 10:32? That was me.
Woo! Yes, exactly. So it's like you can still go and just bid. There's probably going to be the power of numbers when it comes to that, Walmart versus Target. So, you just if you're going to put in, I don't want to hear that you put in one every 6 months or you put in
Ooh,
one and didn't win. We're putting in multiple a
man,
week.
we got three we have three this week alone that we're submitting. But like she said, it's okay to blind bid because on this SLED level, we have heard verbatim out the procurement officer's mouth, nobody bid. I mean, they send us emails and like, hey, why didn't you guys bid? What can we do better next time? So sometimes there's only one person to the bid, and guess what? That's you having the time of your life in 2008.
That was my
Mm-hmm.
first contract. We were the only ones that showed up. Six-figure contract out the gate. I knew nothing of what I was doing, y'all. I was like, what happened now? Didn't know nothing. Nothing, Nathaniel. All I knew is we got to be here at this time. He brought his old school tape measure, not the one with the light on it, the old school Scott. That thing to make that noise.
I was like, what is that?
They loved it. They were old school too. This is an old county. They were like, wow, he's really good. They probably don't even know that the new one exists. But it was just we just happened to be in the room, and that probably would have been one of those contracts. Now this is fire stations; they don't get upgraded, but every 30 years, literally, and they probably would have just not had it done. No one showed up, and that would have been the end of that. So yes,
Yeah.
so people paying Beyonce $1,000 for Beyonce. So, and I want to talk. I want to go on that a little bit because respectfully, look, I'm not in no beehive. I don't listen to Beyonce that much. I respect anyone who has a great work ethic, no matter what, right? But she ain't giving y'all nothing. Nothing. I mean, that's with all the stuff. We want to have our entertainment and do the things that we like to do. But to that point, and to not even like bring down the mood with that comment, but she ain't giving you anything. Y'all will break up a happy home to go to a Beyonce concert.
You
We
actually gave away money. We trying to help you fill your bank accounts.
I'm just
That's a big
saying
difference. You pay how much for them tickets? 1,000?
that's in the nosebleed. I think wasn't they were like
Is it? I don't know. I
millions
don't.
of dollars. I don't know either, but I know there was a lot. People were like skipping rent and all that. So it is what it is. But anyways, yes, you can come to the event. You can make it happen. So as long as there's bathrooms, you always be in business. Yes, Mike, that is correct. Thank you, Mike. Okay, Lafayette, do you know when that next event is scheduled? Also, is this one-day training? How can I sign up? Go to GovCon, let me put it in here, govconnow.co/events, because we are always going to go off of, what the people want. And so,
I think you about what, 5 maybe hours away from Raleigh?
yeah,
Charlotte is what,
it's
3?
Don't give me the line. It's worth it. It's worth it. And
It's
yes,
definitely worth it.
it's a 1 day training from 9 to 4.
The biggest thing that we hear about writing proposals is where do I start? Even with myself, with Sheena, when I first started, we went over a whole contract. And I was like, what
It
are
was
you
like
looking at?
this.
What does this
Oh,
mean? I was like, what? So many words. I don't know what it is. She's like, oh, that's just the glossary, which was like the first 10 pages of what communications means, right? And then I was like, what does this mean? Am I going to jail? They was like, no, just have liability insurance. But with the government, they state it a certain way, which I think really intimidates people. Like I tell Sheena, I think a lot of people relate government contracting to like taxes or the IRS. Like you're gonna get arrested like Wesley Snipes. Like none of these things are happening. Totally
yeah,
different. Totally different.
totally different. No, true. And even federal and local is different. So, you're not going to just automatically go to jail. Like, if you, damn, y'all, like the only one that going to jail, and I did a part 3 on her story, is the one who botched that FEMA contract. Okay. Like, she in jail, but she did a lot of stuff to get there. You have to work really hard to go to jail with government contract. And that means that you just ignored everything. You went totally rogue and you said, I don't care multiple times. And then they're like, okay, you know what? Put her in orange. So it's not that you're just going to automatically, the contracting officer, think about the contracting officer as somebody, they have a job. Just like you with any job that you've had, like a big girl, big boy job, where you wanted to do right at some point, maybe not every job you had, but you wanted to do right and you wanted to make sure that this worked. You didn't want it to not work. The contracting officers don't want it to not work. It makes them look crazy. Like, once something goes wrong, they're gonna go back to that contracting officer and say, did you vet this person? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? All the things are gonna happen. And then the more money it is, the more highlighted it is. You might even be able to get away with botching something at the $50,000 level. $50,000 is a tear in a bucket for like they don't even. They're like 50,000. They say they're about $1 million. These small contracts, get out of my face. When they're issuing out $100 million contracts, so I mean, dang, you have to really, really try to go to jail. So don't get intimidated by that. Just make sure that you don't drive yourself crazy by hiring the wrong people or not knowing anything what you're doing. I want a contract for drywall for a police station. It was like at the height of COVID. It might have been like May 2020. And the guy that I had dropped off the face of the earth. I just found out he was alive maybe like last year. I thought he died. There was no way. He disappeared off the face of the planet. And I didn't know how to do drywall. So I was like, I don't have anybody. Sorry. They're like, oh, okay, no problem. All right. Well, we'll just put it back out for bid. They could care less. They could care less. So think about having yourself being driven crazy. I wasn't about to go out here and learn how to do drywall proficiently in 24 hours. It's just let it go, right? So anyway, to belabor that. Let's see. Best $100 worth of gas money you ever spent. It's more than $100, Mike. But we get it. I study Sheena's contract reviews intensely. Doing with her makes it much easier. Yay! Girl, look, you got to come to this class. All right?
Yes, come on, girl.
Come on out to this class, and thank you for that, because some people be saying I don't explain it well, and I'm like, I feel like I do, but it is what it is. Oh, I skipped the question. How has this anti-DEI Black woman environment impacted the bidding process, if you can square it yet?
What
Oh, I
is yeah.
don't know what square it means. Maybe I'm guessing you're saying, since this DEI shift, how have Black women been affected and how has the environment been affected? I'll say when it comes to SLED, it hasn't been affected really at all. There's not a whole lot of, they have certifications or set asides on the local level, but they're not written the same way as they are on the federal level. They have DBE, which is probably the closest thing. They have MBE too, but that's in certain states, not every state. It's more as if your job was DEI. Like if you were working for a company and you were the DEI director or something, those people are the most affected. I would say on the corporate side, for their initiatives for supply diversity, I've done many videos about that. They were heavily affected. Those type of things will be affected, but it has not a whole lot to do with contracting. They might say they don't care about this type of certification preference? And Bridget, you can get into that because we talked about that right before the call.
Yeah, so what I've seen thus far, and like Sheena said, we eat contracts for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They say that you can have a DBE, but it's not preferred and it's not mandatory. So then what does that really mean at the end of the day? Nothing. Nothing. It really, again, goes back into the relationships and the people in your own backyard, because who you know is really going to help you to win these contracts. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So not much, you still have to prove yourself, as a Black woman, the most disrespected, neglected person on this earth, says Michael X. You still have to, prove with your past performance and your proposal writing skills and your team that you can get the job done. So just keep being great. Really.
Just keep being great and stop being afraid. Not you personally, but first, before I go into my little story.
Ain't nobody afraid here.
Look, people are afraid, Bridget. They whispering. So I want to give a shout out to, it's Lafayette, right? Thank you so much for the super chat.
Yeah,
look, y'all been getting all this information. It's the only super chat we got, but we appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we'll see you at the proposal writing class. Front row.
Front row. I want to see it. I want to see it. People were like, yo, I don't even need to go to nothing else for the rest of the week. They were so delighted. So thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that super chat. So Freddie said, what class is it? It is the Bid Boot Camp Proposal Writing class. We're doing a series. So the first one was how to register in your local county, but specifically Clayton County. So we had people go through that whole thing with their laptop and get registered that day. So this is going to be doing a proposal on that day. So get ready for that. And how can we use someone else's experience and include it in our proposal? Ooh, that's a great question. If you've never done it. You want to get on that one? You want?
I know you're the maestro behind that.
Okay, so my speciality, just like I said with my contractor that was in his 60s, I didn't know how to do flooring. I didn't know how to do any of these things. All I knew is I did real estate in the past. So I'm like, okay, I kind of know epoxy floors. Like I might be able to speak the language and I got to be able to explain it to him. So I literally used his past performance. Like it went into my proposal. So the proposal with it wasn't Foresight Industries at the time, but Foresight Industries does all the things that he said he can do. That's it. I didn't have to list him as a sub. He's a part of my team. He just got to make sure that he, she, whoever knows for those type of, loopholes in the contract, that they know that they now work for Foresight Industries. I don't care how that person get paid. Now, there are some agencies, local and otherwise, you got to read, but where they are going to be asking specifics, like you need to give us the Department of Labor report. Are they a W-2? How are you paying them? If they're a sub, we pay them directly. I've seen that before too. But if it's none of those parameters are in place, they are your past performance. Don't even put their company name. If they agree to it, they gotta be. Most of the time, they're like, hell yeah, I'm getting the money. I don't care who I gotta be. I'll be daggone Acme products. I'll be Sasquatch, whoever you need me to be, so I can get this money. So it just all depends on your the relationship with whoever you're working with. I always tell people as well, this is one of the biggest, pull your pen out. This is one of the biggest things. And we're working with a client right now who is struggling with finding subcontractors. You need to build a relationship first. If you know that you're going to be doing janitorial, you need to be friends with every janitorial company you can. You just need to do it, because when it comes time to a solicitation and you got to do all this vetting and talking to them and all that stuff, it becomes very stressful. And I have done it all different ways, where I didn't know who the hell I was hiring, where I had to hire them last minute, where it was 100 people that didn't know how to clean. It was, started off 6 months ahead of time and was like, this is coming up. And that was the best process. Take them out to lunch, take them out for coffee. This is what I'm trying to do. They were like, oh, wow, what is government contracting? I would love to do it. What do I got to do?
I'm looking to get into that. When Sheena and I go places, if we see anybody with a janitorial uniform on, anywhere, airport, restaurant, office, we'd be like, what company
Yep. Hey.
do you work for? Right.
Or anything. Like even my chiropractor, I was like, hey, so do you do government contracts? She started spazzing out. I was like, she's like, I don't know.
I'll be
Girl.
walking by here in the city and I'll see a parking lot manager
Yes, you
attendant.
did
I'm
that
like, have you
too.
ever thought of government contracting?
I never thought of that. That's so funny that
Literally
you.
how we move.
That's how we move with everything because this is our life for real. This ain't for fake. Make sure y'all hit like on this video. Hit like on this
Yes.
video. We got a few minutes left. I really didn't think we were gonna make it to 2 hours, and we are almost at 2 hours.
Are we almost there?
And
Somebody
we
said
didn't
they
even-
were scared. Who is that, Sheena?
people be saying it, but let me touch on it real quick about being scared. These people that you are working with, typically they may not even know as much as you, or even if they do, go into this room and own the room. I had a situation where I was shortlisted for a janitorial contract for, I believe it was a police station. So I'm thinking I'm just going to go in there and they're going to ask me a few questions and then you're hired and that was going to be it. No, I was sitting around a big ass table with a bunch of police officers I'm in Georgia. So it was in a county that I probably wouldn't normally be in. Okay. And the procurement officer she looked just like me. So she was looking scared when I came in the room. I was like, what's going on? They all had a copy of my proposal. My proposal was spectacular, by the way. Okay. That's why I got shortlisted. And y'all see my nails. Y'all see them, right? This is how my nails always are, or longer, right? Because I don't care. I am who I am. And there was like two police officers face like sitting. I was kind of in between, and they were both looking at me while the lady's talking. I'm like, why are they staring directly in my eyes? They were like, so really gnarly nails. And I knew at that moment I wasn't getting that contract. I already knew. It wasn't given. And so even though I had past performance, did contracts in multiple states, did it, been doing this, they were like, So I don't know what was said when I left the room, but I didn't even get in the car. And the lady called me and was like, so we decided to not go with your company. I was like, oh my God. I don't have on mascara. I would have been crying. Like, what? So just know that there's going to be prejudices against all of us, no matter what. Veterans, women, Black, all things, right? Even depending on what industry you're in. You got to not give a damn and just keep showing up and keep being who you are. As long as you're a good person. Keep being a good person if that's who you are. And that's all you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I got to say about that.
And that song, Mary Had a Little Lamb.
That song, Mary Had a Little Lamb. Okay. And I hope I answered the question about putting people on your proposal. But yes. Lafayette, how many contracts should we target for submissions a week? I don't know if you want to ask us that.
For real.
On local portals and procurement sites. Appreciate Mike for the $100 gas money. Yes, Mike's giving everybody $100 of gas money. That's what he said. Just kidding, for real. But so I mean, like I said, it depends, because you might be in an industry where there's not a lot that come out, so you get some grace there. But after I watched War Dogs and watched the story behind War Dogs, and they said they were putting in 5 a week, and I was doing 1 a month, I was like, oh no, they were doing 20 a week, and I was doing 1 a month, and I went up to 5 per week. So, I mean, what can you do?
Exactly.
Bridget does 5.
I don't. I average about maybe 2 to 3 a week, but I just upped the ante in the fall. Sheena was leaving me. I was like, I gotta catch up, friend. I gotta catch up.
I'll be like, team, go ahead, and because I'll have my team do it, and I'll do one on my own, and I'll work with Bridget on one. We'll be doing all different types of stuff. So and we be winning too. So don't be having nobody mess up our game. We be winning contracts, so don't have nobody say nothing greasy about us. But with that, it's all about what you can handle. Y'all got AI, so you should be able to knock out a contract no more. If you can fully focus on it, no more than 2 days. Like if you fully focus, 2 days is pushing it. You can get one done in really 1 day, especially with AI.
If you come to the class, then we will definitely show you how we do our contracts to get them done. And we can honestly, we've knocked out some in a day, in a night, entire contract.
Like half a day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was rough. Our eyes were bleeding, but we got it done.
They were, right.
Compared to in the past. And the good thing about the SLED contracts is it's mostly documents. It's not going to be a whole lot of methods of approach, or this is how exactly are you going to do it? Some of them are, but a lot of times it's just filling in non-collusion documents, the pricing, and small, things like that. And so that's why I really liked local when I first started. And everybody was talking, saying I was crazy for doing local, and they shitted on my name. They did. They were like, she ain't getting money for real. She only doing local. Now look at y'all. Now look at y'all. And I love y'all, but I'm just saying. So
Yeah,
it's
so the local contracts, the SLED, a lot of times they'll give you a page limit because they're not about to read 40 pages of a dissertation. So they'll say 12, 15. They won't count the cover page. They won't count the resumes. But that's another reason why I love SLED contracts. They don't have to be too long. And like Sheena said, most of them are forms. The last one we did was 27 forms. However, it's just putting your name and the date and saying that you won't do any illegal stuff. So as long as you sign those, you're good. And get it notarized, and that's the contract.
get 20. You got to write your business name 27 times.
That's it.
That's it. But that was the part that was killing me. I'm not gonna lie. April's afraid, and April over here winning more than everybody. See, that's what I'm saying. April has a very high conversion rate, and she's like, "I'm still no. You're doing it. You're doing it. Just
go April.
Go April. Go April. I love
it. And what kind of certification does April have, so you can tell the people and they can connect with her?
Yes. Look, don't be bombarding her though, because she like her piece, like I like my piece. But April is Native American, so there's separate. I went to a Native American conference, and so they have tribal certificate, tribal set asides. Okay, they have it's like a Native American set aside, and then they have, by virtue of you being Native American, period, they have contracts for you. Okay, so I know nobody understands what the hell I'm saying, but basically, she's able to secure set aside contracts by virtue of being Native American. So if she's willing to speak with you, then you can reach out. However, you can drop your stuff on here, April. If she doesn't drop it, that means she don't want to be bothered. But that's okay, because she's a great person. She just got a lot to do. She's working full time too, and she's doing this, and she got kids and grandkids and all that. So there's no excuse really for anybody. When is the class? Do you have a sign up link? I have a landscape business and live in Gwinnett. Hey,
Gwinnett County.
Okay. Yes, I put it in here a few times. It's govconnow.co/event. So I'll do it again.
Freddie, Gwinnett County gets a lot of money. Next to Fulton County, as I always tell Sheena every day. It's the second largest county in Georgia, and the second with the most population. They get a lot of funding. And the good thing about Gwinnett is that they don't have a lot of corruption. Like, they really spend their money the right way, as you will find out.
As my taxes tell me, that's a fact. Them things never go down. Okay, sorry.
Right. So, when you see a neighborhood that has a lot of potholes and things like that, not only are the taxes low, but somebody's taking the money dollars. But and I'm a Gwinnett kid, so of course I'm a little biased. But yeah, they get a lot of money. Like I said, with the mall, they're building a trail. They have so many things going on in Gwinnett. It's amazing.
Yeah, Gwinnett is that county for real. I didn't know.
Yeah.
When I was moving in here a few years ago, I was like, "Oh, this is cute." I was like, "Good Lord, everything looks so beautiful at my expense." So I guess that's a good thing, right? But damn, just saying. Okay, so in the class, can you help us craft a contract for us and our subs? Partner contracts are a question for me also, such as how. I'm sorry. As how we are getting paid, the obligation, and my commitments. We're probably gonna with each of these classes, we have to touch on everything, but we're going to really hone in on writing the contract. So when you have that question, if you're able, hopefully you're saying you're able to come. We'll be able to address that directly with that particular contract. Like if it says, no, you must, list your subs, or if they're not a W-2 or something like that, that's going to depend on how that contract is written. But what I was saying is, much as you can keep just under your company, and the person you're working with or the company you're working with doesn't mind just being kind of invisible, but they're still getting the money, which the majority of the money often, then, you ain't got to worry about none of that. You just write their stuff down. I learned my lesson in trying to work with a business owner, and they are not ready to do business. Lord, Boy, you said a thing. You said a thing. You said a thing. Who is that? Oh, Christy. Oh my God. Yo, Chris, shout out to Christy. Christy's like, where is it? Christy is like that. Oh my God, that's so funny. So, Christy, I'm going to share a little bit of your story without giving too much away. She is in transportation, and she had another transportation person that has been an employee. And so that person is exceptional as an employee, like does all the things, everybody know them. And she was like, yo, I have found a contract for She's gonna be laughing because I found a contract for her, and I was like, "Oh my God, you and old boy can do this contract." And he was like, I don't have nothing." Basically, like even though I actually helped that person build their business and did their business cards, set up their website, everything years ago. So it's like, oh, okay, you just decided not to, and the contract was literally perfect for them. So yes, not ready to do business, even though you know that they're going to be great. You know that they can do the job, but then you can't even get them to get out of their own way. That is a thing.
She said, "I'm dying."
Yes, girl, because she was so mad. She's like, oh my God. I was like, hey, some people, and that's a blessing though. I know it's aggravating at the time, but it's a blessing to know long before you start filling out these documents, long before money get involved.
And we'll be going over that at our next class, which is subcontractors and teaming partners.
That might be a 2-day class.
That's a whole, yeah.
Because even just doing, not to go off on it, JV, teaming partners, and all that, that's here. Yeah. And then that might be a 2-day class. We got to see about that. They think it takes too long to get paid. Yes, that's another thing with people think that it takes too long to get paid. Now, there's a little validity to that, just case by case, because if you're used to getting paid the same day, like you do a pressure washing job and you get paid the same day, yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Well, let me say this: if there's a P card or purchase card or a credit card involved, you could get paid the same day. I've gotten paid the same day before, which boy, I was like, ooh, y'all spoiling me. I love it over here. So it can be that is possible that you get paid right away. It's possible to get paid early, especially on the federal side. A lot of their stuff is they have a program where they pay you within 10 days. But I've also asked agencies if I could get paid every 2 weeks, and they say yes. Now the federal government is not going to be able to say like definitively if they can do something special for you. So.
And I feel like on the SLED level, if you are not able to sustain for the first 30 days or 45 days on a contract, that contract's not for you. Sheena and we were looking at a school contract, and they needed all the gym floors replaced in Cobb County. So if you're here in Georgia, you know that's a big contract. And the contract is like, hey, we can do floors, but they can only do, one at a time as far as footing that bill for the first 30 to 45 days. So yeah, if you can't do that, and that lets you know there are large contracts on the SLED level. So start small. There are a lot of very small contracts out there. You can fix one patch of the sidewalk if you're a concrete company.
And then even to add on to that, it's like that's a good way to vet people, like to see how they react to certain things, because you meet them and they're like, yeah, I can do floors. Yeah, I've done it at the large level. And then you're like, okay, well, here's another one. And then they're not even able to explain. So then you're kind of getting an understanding of how they would be communicating with the agency too, because they're going to be communicating with the agency, not you. You ain't the damn floor person. You don't even know what the hell, how to do floors. So, knowing what you're getting into, that's one thing. But then also, like kind of vetting the person based on an opportunity, because you may not even know what to look for, but this don't smell right. Like this person's not able to explain nothing. Like I don't understand nothing now. So that, and then I always make my subcontractors, they gotta have the money. I'm not giving it to you. I'm not giving you no deposit. I might give a deposit. I might. That's a strong mic. Call me what you will, but I'm not, because I've been jaded. I'm jaded, screwed over too many times. So you have to have the money. I mean, we'll have our contract between us, and you got to foot the bill. Now, if it's a milestone thing, then of course we'll work on how those payments work every couple of weeks or months or however or every month, not more than a month, hopefully. But um, yeah, you pay when paid. Sorry, screwed over too many times. All right. Want to do these last few? Y'all get your last few questions in
Yes,
because
make them good.
make them good and hit like on this video. The likes ain't matching. The likes ain't matching. And thank you again. Oh, it went away. But here we go. Boom. Thank you so much again to Lafayette for the super chat. It is so greatly appreciated. Don't be afraid to follow suit. Don't be afraid to follow suit. Go ahead and hit that super chat button or super sticker, super chat. We really appreciate it over here as we're spending all these hours with you all for free. Just saying. Um, what do we got here? SLED, I'm on a paradigm shift by Sheena and Bridget. See, because y'all listen to everybody else. Y'all don't never listen to me. Y'all don't never listen to me. Never. Okay. April said ISBEE and IEE. That's what her set aside is considered. Okay. And those are the type of contracts that she gets with ease. Okay. So is it Sarah B? I hope I'm saying that right. Is it easier to secure product or service contracts? That's actually a great question. Bridget, are you hungry? Look, Bridget's like, look, I need a daggone sip of water or something.
No, she could be trying. Oh, look, I don't ate off 2 layers of lip gloss. She'd be like, "It's gonna be quick." Look, y'all see this background? It was daylight when we started. But anyway,
there's snow on the ground now.
To me, mine is very light on this because this is from personal experience. When I first got in, I wasn't really sure what my service was going to be. I was like, let me do some products, because you understand products, you need 500 badges. But again, for me, it came back to that capital situation. You got to pay for them products up front and coordinate the logistics with the 18-wheeler or whatever that may be to get there. So can you really buy 500,000 patches for New York City police? So that's my consideration.
Yeah, same, exact same. We had one that we were going to go after. I think they needed 3 million tubes of toothpaste, literally 3 million. The little ones for jail, but damn, the little ones. But I think they were like 5 cents. I mean, just who's counting it? You know what I mean? Like this all the things that come with that too, because they might have to count it. I don't even know. This is going to the jail, and the products you have to have the money up front. Period. Yeah. I did one on books before. It's because it's like it's deep, but it's not deep. I did one on books before. I had a person that I was going to use for the capital. But then like the logistics, I think the logistics is even worse because if it's a bunch of little packets of toothpaste coming in periodically, maybe not all at once, and you're talking about you got to deliver some mattresses, like they need 500 mattresses. Good Lord, how many truckloads is that? Like you got to work that into your pricing too. So it really just a lot of people. There's a few people that get it, and when they say this, I know they understand contract, and they're like, okay, look, I'm gonna start with a service that I can do myself physically. I'm like, you get it. So products can be your thing if you got a whole bunch of money. You're like, oh yeah, I'd much rather do that because my uncle has a box truck. I'll do anything that goes up to that, whatever that weight is. Then I know you get it. So it's really on you, on what you understand and what you can, basically.
And then as far as the services, like I'm in marketing and communications, and I feel like I tell Sheena, that's one of the easier ones when it comes to putting money up because at the end of the day, since I know how to do all parts of the job in the company, I'll be up at 3 a.m. posting social media posts for the utilities department in Atlanta. So, and with that, you really don't have to foot a bill. But I really do admire people like facilities management is because they have to have bodies at the facility. And just for me, that's not my superpower of making sure a human body shows up on time. I'm a very prompt person. I'll be on fire everybody on the second day. So I really admire you guys who have to have people, construction, facilities management, because like I said, with us, our team is spread across and it's just a matter of turning on their computer.
That's a very good point. And you remind me every day that I chose this life So,
You did. You did. What if Sally is sick? What do you do? What do you do?
what if Sally gets arrested and sent to the mental institution, which Sally has? What if Sally gets arrested? What if Sally dies?
What do
Like
you do? Who goes in that day? Who's clocking in?
my manager, I'd be like, hey, handle that, okay? Handle that. There's a lot of things that happen when you have employees. People be going through some real stuff, like real stuff. I've had people's children pass away, and they worked where the child was gonna be, like physically. I'm like, this is horrible. Like, this is horrible. And it's like you have to embody that now. And that's where when we do our you got to close your glasses, Bridget. When we do our how to hire series, because you have to have someone who's not just gonna be like, I don't care if your daddy died, get your ass to work. Like there's people that are actually like that. And you're hiring a company or you're hiring a person to speak for you, and you're an empathetic person, but you got this I'm about to say something crazy. You got this other person over here who is not representing your company well. So that's even outside of using subcontractors. That's like within your team. So
Yes.
there's a whole lot that goes with that too. And then the laws and all that stuff makes it even more complicated. But you guys can do it. You'll be fine.
It's then it goes into the culture of your company, and Sheena knows I'm a stickler about how the owner is portrayed, how it rolls down to their managers, and how they treat their people. So empathetic, that is a thing that has to be in the company. I don't have the most Scorpio, but when someone does pass away, I'm like, so you go be to work on Wednesday? Because at the end of the day, you have a business running. So like Sheena said, it's good to have, the proper people in place. So like Ashley is in here, you guys. She is my executive assistant, and she is definitely my empathetic piece to my clients, or I wouldn't have any.
Dang. Woo! You heard it here first. I'm the empathetic person. I'm like, do you need a week off? Like one of those.
And I'd be like, where you been for a week? We literally, remember we had
I
our
need to
client like
be.
that. She just
Oh
like,
my
it's
God.
okay, you're busy. I'm like, but we're all busy. So,
If I had a nickel for every time Bridget has said that to me, I'm like, but she's like,
so
just the face is like,
you're the only one with a difficult life going on, or is it just
yes,
all of us? We're all out here trying to make it.
we are. I
For
swear.
having a time of her life, 2008.
We love you, girl. Will we be working from our laptops? Yes, you'll have your
Yes.
laptop class. Yep.
Yay, Tracy, did you get your tickets?
I hope y'all got your tickets. You didn't make me
Yes,
put the
that's
site up
gonna
here
be
50
so
times.
amazing. I cannot even stress to you all. If I had the opportunity to take a proposal writing class 4 years ago when I started, I would have took it off the rip. It could have been $12,000 because that's what gets you in the door. People stop at writing the proposal. You can't win unless you write the proposal. So having
Man,
us there in that class, we not only write contracts for ourselves, we write them for other people in other industries, construction, IT, energy, all the things. So you being here at this class, it's gonna change your life.
literally. And when you said that, you said a word, because when I first started, and when you're like asking people about it, like anybody that you heard does government contract, and this one guy was like, you got to go to DC and go to this class, and it's gonna cost. It costs about It cost $12,000, and I was like, I ain't got $1,200. Where's that class at? And so I just had to learn. I literally had to learn from scratch. I bought a couple of programs as I was getting a little bit of money to see how a proposal looked. To see, like, I didn't even know how it was supposed to look. So, and then when I work with people, I would steal their proposals and stuff. It was hard out here before AI, y'all. Like, you guys are blessed,
We're
but
gonna
you
give you
still
a
need
template, all the things.
all the things. So if you absolutely please come to the class. We have a great time too. Don't nobody's eyes be dozing, because we have the time. We have a great time, and you learning, and it's memorable. So be in the room. So we are overtime, but please, please, please don't forget to hit like and share this for someone to watch the replay.
Yes.
Christy, yes, talking about the CDL. So anybody that needs CDL people, she's one of them. She's in Houston though. And again, we really appreciate. It's not too late to send a super chat. It's not too late. So inclined, go ahead to hit that super chat, super sticker. We would greatly appreciate all this information that we have shared in this cold Georgia evening. Did she mention that it snowed? It snowed a lot today.
And then it'll be 80 degrees Friday.
Literally, like if you get the Georgia weather, you can be like, what the hell? So
But then again, so when it does get that snowy weather, if you are snow removal, any of those things, like your antenna should be ringing, especially for those of you up north.
yes, those are pretty steady. But even when I was when we had a couple of not storms, but it snowed like twice last year in Georgia, which is a lot. Like where the snow stayed on the ground.
I
And
remember.
there was a couple of companies that reached out to us to do snow removal. I didn't have anybody I trusted. I was like, yeah, we're gonna let them pass because if they do this thing wrong and then flip up a pipe and not doing it, not doing it.
Why are they reaching out to you? Does that happen?
Well, we were listed. We do corporate contracting, of course. So we were listed under a major facility management company that has corporate contracts. So we would have been a sub of a sub. And they just reached. I guess we must have. I'll be going on these rampages with my team. I'm like, look, I just found this out, so I need you to register with 500 different websites. Here they go, and then I'll forget about it. And then they reach out like O'Reilly's or whatever. They're like, can you do the flooring here? We're like, absolutely. So, what Bridget said about registering or signing up for newsletters, if you see a
Yes.
company like a large construction company, Turner, or all these other big companies, they're looking.
Brasville yes.
Yes. Say that name again.
Brasville and Gory.
Yes. So you sign up with them. They ask for quite a bit, but if you have it, do it. And usually they'll look for you to provide the subcontracting whatever fulfillment they have to do, or they just need subs in that area, or they just need subs. Period. A lot of these companies do not self-perform; they're more like a staffing type company, even though they say they do construction. So just like with Foresight Industries, like we do it internally too, but we also hire subcontractors to do a lot of work. So just register with them, and sometimes they'll reach out, and very little work that you have to do after you get
Very
registered.
true. The less work, again, remember these are people behind the desk. And remember, the less work that they have to do, the better. So if they can just call somebody from a list that they know that you already got your paperwork together, they would much rather do that than to read 60 pages of 60 proposals. They will reach out.
I told you about the people saying I'm just too busy to even create the solicitation to put it out. I'm like, so yeah, that's where those relationships come to play. So Christian said, I need to take your proposal writing class. There's something that I can definitely sell to the construction industry. Looking into win state and local contracts. Yeah, so come on out. I'm gonna put the link up here one more again before we say goodbye. Hit like if you have not. If you have not, hit like. Please hit like on this video. It's still not too late to send a super chat. There's still a lot of y'all in here. Y'all
Is it?
Yes. We love you though. We love you. So sign up for the class. It is next week, next Thursday. It is all day. So clear your schedule. I'm gonna tell you to put your phone in a bucket and leave it outside.
She will.
Because you need to pay attention. This is your life we're talking about. Okay.
And
So
also, I would like to ask you all, as far as this information, how often would you like to see SLED lives or videos? Should we do this twice a day, twice a week? Should we put out just little, I know, should we put out little bits of information? Like we talked about a lot of things today. So should we break them up into like 10-minute videos and post them 2 or 3 times a week? Let us know your intake of information so we can spoon feed it to you so you can win. Put it in chat. I don't even see it moving. Come on, Christian. Ellie from the Shy.
I was muted. How often do you want to hear about SLED? Because for me, I feel like I've talked about it a lot, but again, maybe you need steps. Maybe you want to hear the latest and greatest about SLED as of today, or a specific county, specific city, specific state that went bankrupt or something. And those things happen. That's actually a pretty good. That's a pretty good one. Just let us know, anybody, what you think would be a good frequency that you want to hear about it, or specifically about SLED. What do you want to hear more about? I think we could possibly talk all day about subcontracting.
Yeah.
All day about pricing.
You said the word. You said it.
Oh my God, that's a big thing. That's a big thing. So,
Past performance, pricing, past performance, subcontracting. Those are the
big
main.
three.
Yeah.
So I guess okay, everybody know everything. All right, that's cool, that's fine. Like, or maybe you
No,
don't
Krista said thank you. Okay. You got
know.
it.
So if y'all know everything, then that's cool. Or if there's something you need to think about, then just feel free to send a message. Sign
Mhm.
up for the class, join our series. It's like y'all, there's more people coming in as we're trying to leave.
Really?
So
Okay, well, let me just add a little something too. So, bidding in your own backyard, knowing what time of year it is. Again, you live in this place. So we see contracts come out for tree lighting, like putting the lights around a tree. When you come to Atlanta or you go downtown in your city and you see the lights wrapped around a tree, you be like, who do that? That was a government contract. Also, when they have festivals, like here in Atlanta, when they have the Cherry Blossom Festival, that's a contract. The things that you don't think are a contract are. One of my contracts was the East Point Summerfest Jam, right? So when they had Too Short, Trina, Mob Deep, my job was to be at the front of the stage, of course, with my pass and take pictures for the publication. That was my government contract.
I was
So
like, "Where you at? Where you at?" She was like,
I was like,
"I'm
I'm
doing
doing
my
a government
government."
contract.
I was like, "What? You at work?" Yes, that's a true
I'm at
story, y'all.
work. Yeah.
That's a true story. I love that. Okay, so is it Monica said I would like a class once a month. Now we're talking about the lives. So we may do a class once a month as far as our series, but we want to know how many lives y'all would want to do. Okay. So Darren said, have you all considered doing Zoom classes that would help others who can't get to ATL? No, we're not doing Zoom.
Everybody can get to Atlanta.
You can get to Atlanta. Come to Atlanta. Just come.
It's gonna
I've
be like,
gone
I'm
to
in Washington State.
I've been to California to go to a conference. Now, the reason why we say this is because there's several things happening at the same time. You're meeting people that you can work with. It cannot be done the same way virtual. We've been asked this question 9,822 times a day. And so I get it, but if you come to Atlanta, like that's just
We're going around, we're helping individual people type things into their computer, with the files, so
yeah.
it cannot be done virtually.
And it's all day. I have done a virtual all day class and I wanted to string myself up by my locks. Okay. It was rough. It's rough. It's impossible to stay focused. So we can't do it. One time a week at first, because you guys shit a lot. I know, love, I know. Steps will be great. Ways to break into different parts of the SLED industry, like education.
Education's a good one. Oh, there's so much money in education. It's ridiculous. As
It
far
is
as construction, teaching, training, creating programs, STEM, education is dumb when it comes to money in the state. And you know how you have those high tuition prices for my people who got seniors and kids in college? Where do you think that money is going to? To government contracts to fix the gym, to create programs, recruiting. So since we're a marketing company, they pay well into millions for a recruiting contract for UGA, Georgia Tech, because they need students in the school to make money. Mm-hmm.
Even I mean janitorial, that was like my first janitorial contract was college. That's where I really learned to clean. Okay, my grandmother from Mississippi, the way she used to scrub on the scrub board and the sheets be white as snow. Okay, I thought I knew how to clean, baby, and oh no, that was a whole nother level. Because when you think of, I'm just gonna touch on this real quick and I'll let it go. But like when you think about janitorial, you think about how you clean your house. Now you're not going around dusting the blinds and cleaning above everything every day. You're doing, spot cleaning, deep cleaning every now and then. You're still not hitting everything. But these turn cleans, it's like hotel clean. Because if you go in a hotel room and you see a speck of dirt on the bed, new room. I don't care what y'all talking about. I need to get out of here. That's how those janitorial services are for schools. So,
Colleges?
huh?
For colleges, they're that Strict.
And they'll be the worst rooms you've ever seen in your
That's what
life.
I'm saying. Which is worse, hotels or colleges?
But when they definitely colleges is worse because you
Wow.
got parents involved. So they're like, I'm paying $75,000 in this room. Look like this. Oh, they going off. You hear me? They going to the moon on you. So even if you do it clean, they're going off after you leave, after you finish doing the janitorial.
Very
Okay.
true.
Oh, trigger. Okay. So let's
Very
see.
true.
Steps would be great. Okay, live once a week would be awesome. Okay. Sheena, we have to limit our specialties, right? Masters of one philosophy. I said two. I'll give you two. Two. I'll give you two.
Two is cool.
Unless if you're in an industry where there is a lot of that thing, just do that one. Like I interviewed Alvarez on my channel. Shout out to Alvarez. She's a beast. She's probably one of the only people that I can say that can keep up with our work ethic. She don't sleep. Okay, she'll bid on 15 things at once. The title of her video was she won 2 contracts in 30 minutes. Like she didn't even know. She thought it was a repeat of the other one, but she was doing the same stuff, training. Now she'll veer off. You know, we veer off too from time to time, but all she did was training and just kept this rinse and repeat. You're pretty much giving them the same different agencies the same information over and over. So there's no need to do multiple things if you have one lane that works. Like y'all just be wanting to do stuff. Now, again, I did gowns during COVID, okay, and that was way out of my league, and it taught me 17 million lessons in one, and I will never do anything like that again. I don't want to do disaster or emergency, nothing. I don't want nothing with emergency in the title. Nothing. It's just too much. Okay. So thank you, boo. We're trying to make this fun and you learn something too.
It is. We really love this. We talk about this literally every day.
Probably now when you say it like that,
we do. We're like, oh, did you see this contract? Girl,
yeah. Where we putting it?
Literally, that's what we do.
It's fun. It's fun.
It is.
Don't forget to check out our Weird Contract Wednesdays. I used to have them on Instagram, but I moved them over to LinkedIn because y'all playing with me on Instagram. And I'm not gonna let y'all play me. So it's on LinkedIn now. So look for those every Wednesday. And of course, check out, I'm gonna go back and show for those who came in late, the Georgia SLED Connect.
Yes, the Georgia SLED Connect, where we put Georgia contracts. Now we are looking at introducing different states like Florida SLED Connect, South Carolina SLED Connect, but we got to get Georgia situated first, the home base, right? So you will see contracts in there, spending reports from different counties, where they're spending the money at. Hey, Columbus, Georgia has 30 million in plumbing to spend. They don't know where they're going to put that money at. But if you go down there, start introducing yourself, networking, connecting with them on LinkedIn, you're ahead of the game.
You is. So go ahead and join Georgia SLED Connect, okay? And we didn't even get to our questions.
Oh man, we had some great questions, you all. Dang! We had some Mythbusters, like all the things.
Next class. Okay. But you guys asked some really fantastic questions. So it reminds me of what we have to ensure we continue to teach. And so respectfully, we got the knowledge already. So we do this for y'all. So if you have questions, just stay tuned for the lives. And if y'all could somebody could let me know, how did you find the live? Were you already subscribed? Did you get it off of LinkedIn? Did you get it off of Instagram? I really need to know that. So everybody that's on, if I sent you a message directly and said, hey, bring your ass, whatever it is, please let me know how you found this live, because that really helps. So we have our notifications on. Okay. Come on as much as you want and I'll be there. Okay. Oh, come on as much as you want. Okay. Appreciate that. Cover each of those topics once a week. Meaning like separately, I guess. Lord have mercy. I'm already subscribed. So did you have your notifications on? Did it go ding ding? And you're like, who what?
That was an aggressive ding ding.
Right. Ding ding. That's how it came through. Okay, subscribe. So no one started from Instagram or LinkedIn. Subscribe, YouTube, send me a notification. Great. Thank you. Did you get the notification today? Because I also want to know if it was when it was scheduled. Drop gems week. Drop the gems weekly. Y'all want daily? Bridget said let's go on twice a day. I'm like, who?
Because I want people to tune in to us as a resource, like the news. Like, what can I get from them today? Because literally, we do something every day in our business to grow it in this government contracting space, whether it's meeting new people, updating our website, looking at new contracts, finding new counties that we don't know about every single day. It's a business.
It's a business and it's your life now. This is your new
Yeah.
life. Welcome.
Welcome to the dark side.
To the dark side. But it's great. It's great.
It is. They always pay. Always pay.
That's a
Unlike
fact.
commercial, the government shut down. SLED, the DMV was open. Schools was going. They still working on the roads.
Yeah, that's a good point, Bridget. And y'all, the increase in the numbers. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I love it.
And highly favored.
And highly favored. I appreciate you all. Go ahead and hit like if you haven't already. We were trying to get out of here like 30 minutes ago, but I love this. I love it. Okay, got it a few days ago, and it was scheduled, and you sent select to be notified. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay.
That is aggressive, ding. Ding, ding. How did
That
it come
is how she
through?
said it, right? Ding,
I
ding.
want to know. I want to know how did it come through? Like, and you were like, oh, let me get on. You know, I would want to know what y'all feel on the other side. But I did put it out on like LinkedIn and Instagram. So I'm like, if that's not working and I can save my little time putting it out there, then
And we're on all those channels. On Instagram, it's a little bit more relaxed because it shows you all how we move as business owners in our day, our discipline, working out, spending time with our family, how we fit it all in. Can you really fit it all in? And so that's more of the Instagram side. The LinkedIn, of course, is a little bit more professional. It's a lot more tips there when it comes to different portals, like for Kansas City or Georgia or North Carolina. We post those there versus YouTube, where you can really interact with us and see our pretty brown faces.
period. Like, what? Y'all love it
Let's
here.
look busy. Okay, Lotus.
Love it. And Lotus, you must have just came in. Y'all coming in late. We might as well do our Mythbusters now. We might as well do our Mythbusters since y'all want to be here. Now you stuck here, okay? So let's see. One of the questions was, you want me to read them out, or how you want me to do it?
Yes, because I can't see them.
Well, I didn't know if you wanted me to show them or read them.
Read them so they can hear the tone in your voice.
Okay. Let me clear my throat then. Okay. Were local contracts being issued during the government shutdown? That's for you to answer.
Oh, that's for me to answer. Yes, they were. And they were coming out a mile a freaking minutes. You hear me? So actually, nothing stopped here. We actually went faster when the government shut down. So that's my personal story.
Yes. And I would want to concur that I'm trying to copy I'm working on this Mac, and the Mac don't like me. So I would say that we actually did get more contracts too, or more opportunities. I don't know why. I'm not going to hypothesize. Maybe it's the end of it. Maybe it was coincidental, but there was still federal contracts going on as well, but the local did not stop at all. Did not halt. It did not pause. It did not nothing. It wasn't affected at all. I don't know anyone that was affected unless they were working for a pseudo federal, where it's like the post office is kind of like federal and local, or companies like that. But generally speaking, no, everything was still moving and shaking. So boom. All right, next question. Let's go ahead and okay, what did she say? Lotus said, yes, I didn't get a notification, just happened to click on it. Okay, yeah, watch the replay, please, because we did talk about some stuff at the beginning.
We did, Lotus. Check it out.
Check it out. Okay, the next question is, do we need certs?
Ooh, you can start with that.
Maybe, and it depends. So as long as it's free, oh my God, I can go. So
it can.
It's like I don't even know how to answer. So the answer is no. You don't need certification to get contracts. That's the blanket answer. Can they help in certain circumstances? And can some certifications help? Yes. It's the cherry on top of the whipped cream, on top of the hot fudge. Like it's not like getting a certification and then you get the contract. It's not that. Except for 8A, maybe, but that's a whole topic for another day. And that's federal. And we're not talking about federal. So it's really, it depends. It could help. It could get you exposure. It could get you added onto a list as a certified company. But will it say, you know, you get the certification and here's a contract? No.
And then it goes back to that question asked about should you get to know the director or the procurement officer? These are the questions that you ask at the beginning, number one, so you can know if you need to get a city certification. But my answer is no. The first contracts that I won, I had nothing, Nathaniel. It was basically, we had a great proposal and we said we could do the job. So knowing what area you're in, we're here in Atlanta. It's like, the Black Mecca. So things like the DBE, they weigh a little heavier. People see those versus maybe Oklahoma, right? In Virginia, they have the SWAM, which I think you have, Sheena, and they rely heavily on that. You damn near can't even bid in
Yeah,
Virginia
you
without
really
a
can.
SWAM.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of their local certifications. So again, knowing where you are, but also when you first start, before you even get a certification, look at the contracts that you want to bid on and see what type of certifications they're asking for, or if they're even asking for any. If they're not, then what the hell, what are you doing? You don't even need, so get what they need as it pertains to the contract. You up there getting a LSBE, SBLM, all these other things, wasting your time when they're not even going to ask for it.
Not even gonna ask for it. Don't even do it. Don't even have it. It's gone or whatever. So question, what if we are just starting out and don't have a business yet? Can we still start and win? We kind of talked about that earlier a little bit. So the blanket answer is yes. But you need to know what you're going into, like what industry, I would say. So if you know, the only reason why I'll give you some grace on this is because let's say you were an educator where you might not need anyone to do the contract with you, or you just need your certifications, or you're an accountant, and you're like, I haven't started my business yet, but I have this skill. Can I get started? Yes, you can. That's that. Bridget
Oh my
says,
God, say no. I was because well, from my experience with the contracts, they always ask for a certificate of existence, which is your LLC. So definitely start like a professional. That's what I want you to do, Lotus Mindset 1988. Um, yeah, start get your LLC, do the things, and then know what you're gonna do. Like I say, you don't have to build the whole, 5, 10 year out like they used to make you do in these programs. Girl, know what you're gonna do this year. Okay, that's all we can do, especially in these unprecedented times. Just know what you're gonna do for a year.
that's a fact. That's a fact. Tracy Robinson says, "Are we learning proper business structure?" You talking about in the class? If you talk about in the class, no, not. We're gonna give advice. We're not attorneys, and that's not what you're there for. You're supposed to be there to write a proposal. So if you have no clue on how to nothing about business, like you can't spell business, respectfully, I'm being funny, but like if you're that far behind, this may not be the class for you. Just being honest, because we don't want you to feel so far behind and that it's too overwhelming, and then you never go back to government contracting because you felt like you were just drowning in the class.
And it
Um,
will be overwhelming. I'm not even going to lie, because the executive summary, which is the very first part of your proposal, which you tell about your business, how long you've been around, what you specialize in, what makes you different, right? The basics. If you don't have those, it's going to be, you can't do it. I'm not even going to lie.
just right, and we want you to be prepared. So,
Yes. That's
yeah,
why we're preparing you now. So whoever doesn't have that tonight, you can do that over the next, week or so, and then come to our class.
right, and just use AI to tell you how to set up your business structure. I mean,
Yes.
it can't hurt because I went in there blind, like I don't know, boop, and hope for the best. So that's better than that. Okay, boom. The next question we have, well, I'm gonna put is, how many years to win your first contract?
Everybody's journey is different. Sheena has like the ultimate journey, I tell her. I mean, but there's a good and bad to it, right? After the go button. But for me, mine, it took me 8 months to win my first government contract. In the first couple of months, like I said, I started in federal because like a lot of you all, I was like, I want to start at the top. I want to make $5 million. And so when I felt that I was out of my league or knew I was out of my league, then I went down to SLED. But yeah, it took about 8 months, and I wrote about maybe 4 proposals, and out of that, I won, yeah, about 2 in the first 8 months.
And that's significant to not, because I was there when she was about to run out the door when we were trying to go on the proposal. I was like, just read it. She's like, so it's like to see that, and now she's like run circles around me. It's like it's no, it's true. I'm bragging on my friend, but for real, because it's like you need to know that you might be scared and intimidated and don't want to do it and don't know what the hell anyone's talking about, to working like and winning and like going to concerts as your contract, as your job. Like I don't even have that. So it's like to know that you can go from clueless like I was, don't even know really what I'm doing for real, to running a team with 18 employees in multiple states. Not to say that to be braggadocious, but who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thunk it? I would have never thunk it. So yeah, anyone who's coming in, make sure you hit like on this video if you haven't already. So let's see here. The next question is, does the lowest price always win, Bridget?
In the industries that I work with mostly, which is professional services, communications, I'm just now getting into construction, which Sheena will cover that when it comes to labor and lower price. But they always go on best value, especially when it comes to marketing communications versus price, because it's kind of like you get what you pay for in that arena, so yeah, the best value. And with most of all of our proposals, we have to write a technical report, which is how we're going to do it. So, unlike constructions, I don't think they ask how you're going to do it necessarily versus like process or milestones. But yeah, for marketing, you have to come up with a whole marketing campaign. You're going to go to churches, like exactly what that looks like. So, whatever that cost incurs, putting people on the street, that's the price we're going to give.
And you helped me understand that there was other ways to even do this, because like I had been doing some other stuff, but like she was like, we don't have to go to the pre-proposal meetings. What are you talking about? I'm like,
We
what do you
don't.
mean?
We don't have to go.
What? They're almost always mandatory for us because we got to see the facility, whatever. And then that weeds people out, which Bridget also reminded me that a lot of times when they put these things in place, because I forgot that they're trying to weed people out that are not, serious or going to go forth and do this thing. And then also like getting what you pay for. That's a really good point, because that's usually how we operate, right? We know that if we just pay a super, super low price to where you're raising your eyebrow, you're like, well, it was only $1 when you knew it should have been $50, something like that. So it's like they want to pay a premium price for what they're doing, or else they probably wouldn't do it at all. They're like, we don't even need social media, or we're gonna pay a premium price. Those are the only two options. Whereas janitorial, they're like, can you do it for $5? If you can do it for $5, you win. And you're like, what? But not always, because some agencies have been scarred and beat up and abused, and they don't want to get abused anymore. So they will go for best value, or they will do a heavy vetting process for a company to see if they, have you done this same thing? Because don't say that you did house cleanings. Respectfully, is not the same. Now, some people are really good cleaners and they can do both, but like if you just did that and you're like, they're gonna look at it like that's not enough. You need to go with speed and have know how to manage a large team, making sure that people are using the products correctly. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody says I want to do janitorial because it's easy. I'm like, baby, it's not easy. It's way harder than it should be. Actually, it's never.
I could never.
It's rough.
Yeah, I think the past performance, when it comes to the pricing, if you know that you have a premium price or feel like it may be a little higher than most, and rightfully so, you got the buffer 3,000, right? Then that's when your past performance comes into play. So you can't say that you cleaned your grandma's house and you're asking for premium pay versus when they're looking at other companies' past performance and they did, PNC Bank, nothing big. The senior recreation center on Old National. So just be mindful of that. Just make it make sense and make it match.
Make it match. And like sometimes you got to make it match creatively just to get your foot in the door, but you better perform. Don't say Sheena said I cleaned the Georgia World Congress Center and you don't even clean your own bathroom and you don't perform. You got to be able to step up and perform. So that's another thing too, where you're biting off more than you can chew. You're not gonna be able to chew it. It's going to end badly. And I've seen some. I have stories for days. I need to do a whole
And
story.
they've been checking references too. So ever since the
Yeah.
FEMA, make sure you check out Sheena's video about that and where that went wrong at. But they have been calling or emailing people like, "Hey, did Tiffany do that restoration on the side of the building?" So that's another way that they're trying to protect themselves from people not doing what they say they can do.
And you also may not get the contract if the people don't answer. So get some reliable people, reliable references. Because I've had
Yes.
them call me at like 4:48. Hi, is this Sheenapreneur with Foresight Industries? So did you work with ABC Company? I'm like, what? Like, I work with so many people. I don't even know what you're talking about. So I'll be like, do you mind sending them the email so I have time to like try to figure out who is this person and do I need to contact them? What do I need to say? Because I may have worked with them. It may have been 5-6 years ago. I don't remember none of that,
And we're going
so
to talk about that in our proposal writing class. When you do initially reach out to your vendors, what do you say? What do you not say? Also, with those references, sending them an email. Hey, Tiffany, I'm going to list you as a reference for this contract. That way, they have the email, they can refer back to it. When you do get shortlisted, which I have a video coming out about, then you can let them know, hey, remember I listed you as a reference. They're going to be giving you a call. So it's a series of events, but it's super easy.
it can all be so simple. Okay, that's what Lauren Hill said. And don't make it hard. I think
It's not.
my audience, I think, is a very intelligent group. I love y'all. Y'all make this so hard. I swear, y'all make this very hard. And you're overthinking. So we're telling you to overthink for you to find the ways to make it easy for yourself. It's like, here's all the things you need to know, but just focus on this. That's it. Like, they're telling you exactly what they want. If you can't do it, go to the next one. The one that you're like, I can water plants. Oh, it's at these locations. Okay, this price seems good. I can do it physically myself. I got a water can.
I
I
got the
can do
tools.
I got the tools to cut the leaves. I can physically do this. Okay, you got to like really go through it in your mind. Like, can I physically do it? Can my dad do it? Can my mama do it? Can my cousin? Like, that I trust. Don't say, I had one guy tell me, I'm gonna do pressure wash. I'm gonna hire my brother. My brother ain't shit. Why would you hire your brother? Why would you hire your brother? Because it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem. So just keep that in mind too. A lot of this stuff is business stuff. Reading the contract is the easy part. Winning the contract is easy. It's the
Yeah.
performance where you gotta,
Mhm.
your hoof down and make sure that you're running a tight ship, because people will find a way. And
And
look,
they're gonna check. They're gonna do everything they said they was gonna do in that contract.
that's that's a fact. I am getting all the pain I gave to every employer. I've had over 35 jobs, and I'm getting it all back. All the BS that I put out there to these people, I'm getting it all back. So try to sage before you start doing government contracts. Okay, we're about to get up out of here, y'all. So thank you so much for everybody that hung with us. We hovered at a pretty good number.
I know. Ooh, Lord, eyes is burning.
Learning. So hit like if you haven't already. Share this video. It's still not too late to super chat if you feel so inclined. Just saying. But if you did enjoy this video, please share it with someone. Post it. Do a clip of it and send it out and be like, oh my God, we love them. Whatever the case may be. Tell your friends, tell your family. But that is it. Bridget, stay on. But if that's all, then that's all. And I hope everyone has a fantastic night. Thank you so much. And until
Thank
next
you,
time, it's your veteran.
everybody.
Bye.